Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Naruto quits the bell test Sasuke bashing. Before I start, please support for more amazing content and do consider subscribing to my channel and share this video with your friends. This is written by GatsuBerk and link in description and support writer. Let's start the video. Chapter 1, His Failures. The sound of heavy breathing filled the air as its maker stared at a mirror. His cerulean eyes flashed red for a moment, making him strike the dark reflection. His world had just been turned upside down. His life was placed in jeopardy as an evil man used him for his own gain. The foolish blonde was desperate to reach his dream. His need for attention so great that he did something he knew was wrong. He had broken into the home of the only man that had shown signs of caring for him. To make things worse, he had been caught in the act by said man. His way to escape had been by using his unorthodox skills to make his mentor faint. The young male blonde was clouded in smoke before being revealed as an older female. Her fleshy curves were too stimulating for the was-hardened elder. After his escape, the golden blonde went into the next phase of his makeup exam. He spent many hours learning his most hated jutsu from the largest scroll he had ever laid his hands on. As the sun prepared to raise into the sky, the sun-kissed blonde was found by his hated teacher. Few words were exchanged between the two before the boy had been sent flying. He looked with rage at the man that had attacked him. His eyes grew as he saw the man be covered in blades. He followed the man's eyes of sight to see his second instructor. The one that had told him about the second test. The next hour the golden blonde wished had never happened. It pained him to remember every detail. The most painful part was that he learned that a demon fox had been sealed in him. His rage had grown to a new level he had never felt before. The great source of power was erupting from within as a dark voice began to fill his mind. He had planned to follow the command of the demon calling to him, however the kind words coming from his hated instructor prevented him. His mind shattered at how the man declared him a member of the village, that he wasn't the demon fox he contained. The golden blonde showed his sudden mastery of his new skill and laid a savage beating on the man known as Mizuki. Iruka was dumbfounded as his student had beaten a Chunin in battle. Two fools underestimated him tonight. I can never change the past, but from now on I will be there for you, Naruto. The man saw no reason to hold the young golden blonde back. He instantly graduated him and to celebrate took him to eat. Making the hidden watcher glad and proud of what had happened. Naruto was so glad that he hadn't taken the wounds on Iruka seriously. Before they could part ways, the kind Chunin fell to his knees. Instantly the golden blonde rushed to his side, hoping to help. He was suddenly pushed away by the Chunin. The golden blonde at him in disbelief. Iruka had not wanted to hurt his student, but Naruto had placed his hand too hard on a wound. Iruka's eyes grew as he saw the pain in Naruto's eyes. What have I done? Iruka thought as villagers quickly rushed the boy to get him away from the loved instructor. Iruka couldn't believe how the people of his precious home openly attacked an innocent boy. Naruto rushed from the growing mob and used his new jutsu to safely reach home. His mind filling with how his idiocy had caused so much pain. He felt he didn't deserve anything and went on to trash his near-empty apartment. It's all my fault. If I hadn't trusted him, none of this would have happened. Naruto yelled in rage as he looked at his recently broken mirror. His eyes grew as he saw a certain ring. One he obtained on a trip with his mentor. He remembered that day clearly. They went to a festival and he was given a nice amount of cash to have fun. He was so excited about being in a such fun-filled place that he wasn't thinking right. Though at the time he didn't know any better. He had visited a few booths and filled his stomach and his hands with goods. He had spent little money because of the fact it had been so easy to win the things he wanted. He could remember the creepy voice of the old fortune teller that had gotten his attention. He walked with curiosity at the simple stand. The old woman sat behind a table with that held a crystal ball. She clearly conned him into paying to see his future and then claimed to see that it was going to be a dark and difficult one. She wowed him into buying the ring he now stared at. It will protect you from great evil and bring you greater strength. Naruto remembered her words as the image of a younger him gave away all of his money. He took his new ancient ring of protection to his mentor. He wanted the man to be proud of him. In his mind, buying the ring was a great decision for a future Hokage. Naruto, you've been robbed. The Hokage said, clearly bringing pain to the boy. This ring is useless, the metal is rusted, the gem is cracked, and such a small thing is useless to a shinobi. Naruto, you can't keep letting people trick you. I want you to wear it as a reminder that not everyone is your friend. The Hokage said, making the young Naruto sad while his current form looked at the large old ring. Since it was too big to fit him, the Hokage had bought him a necklace to put through the ring. I didn't wear the ring because it made the Hokage disappointed. He was right, I do trust people too much. Naruto said as he took the ring off the top of the mirror. The necklace had been stolen long ago when his apartment was destroyed by angry villagers. He still couldn't believe he was to be stuck with a useless item his whole life. He let out a sigh as he saw the ring was only small enough to be worn on his thumb. I can't trust anyone, not even myself. The golden blonde said as his voice became drowsy. The last thing he remembered was the scent of fire. Okage-sama. Naruto's apartment is on fire. A man said as he rushed into the village leader's office. The powerful man grew a look of great rage before standing to see the situation. The man couldn't believe that someone would attack the boy. His eyes grew when the high-level Anbu reported the boy was not to be found. Chapter 2 A New Life. How are you feeling? A kind voice said as a certain sun-kissed blonde opened his cerulean eyes. How can this boy be the demon fox? He looked so peaceful asleep. The young nurse thought as she looked at her temporary charge. She had drawn straws with the staff for the job. No one wanted the hateful duty of taking care of the village's pariah. Naruto looked around and wasn't too surprised to find himself in the hospital. Are you okay? Does it hurt anywhere? The woman asked as she tried to get closer. Poor thing looked better if dead when the Anbu brought him in. How can he stand living here after what the village puts him through? The woman thought as her mind was flooded with the many times Naruto had been brought in throughout his short life. He had a medical record bigger than most retired shinobi. I'll be fine. Your generosity should be used on others that want it. Naruto said with a cold tone, making the previous caring teen to leave the room. See what I care, demon, why don't you go ahead and die? That way Konoha can finally rest in peace. The woman thought as she hurried to check on her next patient. Isn't it this kind of thinking that put him here in the first place? The nurse thought in a more rational way as she turned to look at the open door of Naruto's room. Naruto went on to removing the bandages around his body. He finally turned to undo his right arm that felt heavier than before. He let out a scream as he saw it covered with a black and silver metal. His hands had a bladed edge that gave him light claws. My arm, what happened to it? The golden blonde said as his eyes followed the metal, seeing it run all over his arm and cover the right side of his chest. He stood and rushed to a mirror. He couldn't believe how light the metal was and how there was no sign of the metal being attached to his body. More like it was just sitting on him, something he knew was impossible. The golden blonde hurried to the small closet for his things as he heard the Hokage coming to his room. He rushed to his window and ran from the hospital as fast as possible. He knew the Hokage was going to be upset. He knew from experience that the man would question him about the attack. The problem was that he had no idea about what had happened. That was only going to make it worse, meaning the man was going to be more upset than usual. A thing he did not wish to experience. He went home only to find it burned to the ground, along with a large chunk of the complex. His eyes grew in disbelief as he looked at the charred room. All his memories and valuables gone. He now had nothing to his name but the old and worthless ring. Naruto planned to glare at his cursed object. He looked to his right arm, flinching at the sight of the inhuman metal. Shock filled his face once more as he saw the ring smaller now and on his pinky finger. The brand new looking ring glowed out a light. The golden blonde opened and closed his arm. He had heard and seen shinobi lose a limb and have a fake one placed. What he had not heard was a fake arm react as fast as the one he had on. Also, he didn't feel like those that had lost a part of themselves. He wasn't feeling down or weak. In fact, something inside him said he was stronger than before. Naruto looked at the gem with curiosity. It looked so different to his eyes, he was surprised to find a symbol he had never seen deep in the gem. Naruto, you are alive. A voice said, making the golden blonde turn. You make it sound like you care. Naruto's words makes his formal classmate glare at him as she stood with her parents. That was a bit rude. The platinum blonde man said, making Naruto glare at him. He soon calmed down using a shinobi breathing exercise, shocking those that knew his reputation. I don't got time for this. Naruto said while wrapping up his right arm with bandages. Good luck had finally reached since the family had not seen the newly armored arm. You can say that again, you look terrible in a hospital gown. Ino said, making her parents glare at her. They had yet to tell her daughter what happened to her classmates since they didn't know her view on her fellow blonde. Not to be rude, but I have never cared about the crap that comes out of your mouth. Naruto said before tying the gown together and walking from the family. Naruto, do you have a place to stay at? Ino's mother asked, making Naruto pause. She had asked in a kind and sincere way, something he had never experienced before from strangers. I'm going back to the hospital. Naruto said before walking into the rubble of what played the part of his home. Using his exposed arm, Naruto removed the debris until lifting a final board to expose a small metal box. What's that? Ino asked with curiosity. She had never known much of Naruto and wondered what he treasured. It's my life. Naruto said before walking past the still curious blonde. Can I see? Ino asked with a cutesy voice, making Naruto glare at her. No. His cold response made her glare at his back as he walked away. No one ever denied her anything, she promised to get the stupid blonde back. I can't believe I lost everything. The blonde thought as he walked through the business district. He finally came to a stop. He looked into a tailor shop he had never seen before. He walked in with hesitation. He never liked spending time with the greedy merchants. A doorbell sounded as he went into the building, easily catching the attention of the owner. She normally would throw him out, however seeing him in such a poor state changed her mind. Not to mention hearing how he was left to burn made her see him in a new light. "So what do you need?" the woman asked, making Naruto turn to her. "Some clothes would be nice," Naruto said as he saw the woman walk around the counter. "What exactly are you looking for?" the woman said, catching Naruto off guard. "What do you mean?" Naruto said, making the woman study him. "Is there a certain look or color you like? I do have some orange," the woman said with some disgust. "Just something that will keep others a safe distance from me. Oh, and I need this to be well covered," Naruto said, pointing at his right limb. "Is it really that bad?" the woman said, making Naruto look at the limb and then at her. "I'm not ready to let anyone see it yet," Naruto said, making the woman nod her head. She had seen many of her friends become distant after an accident. "Let me measure you and I'll see what I can do," the woman said before getting a nod almost a minute later. "Looks like he has trust problems, not like I can blame him," the woman thought while she did the measuring. Naruto went into a changing room after she gathered a few things. Naruto couldn't say his new look sucked, though it was a simple black Anbu-style pants and sandals, light chainmail hidden under bandages that covered his torso and arms. A large black trench coat that was clearly too big. "You don't have to worry about this getting dirty because of a few special seals." However, the woman paused her speech before cutting the sleeve of the left arm to expose his hand. "I saw you can still use it, but don't overdo it," the woman said, making the golden blonde pay his stuff. "He's not a bad kid. I wonder what other rumors has the village made from Bull," the woman thought as she got to work on making a new look for an older Naruto. He was surprised at how cheap the things he bought was. Concerning the number of extra rolls of tape and change of pants he got. "Uzumaki. The Hokage wishes to have a word with you," an Anbu said as the blonde walked towards a motel. Chapter 3 entered the Mandarin. The Hokage had been going over the information his shinobi had obtained on the situation that had befallen Naruto. The man was clearly surprised to see his grandson-like figure in such dark clothes when the formerly carefree blonde came in. "Naruto, we need to talk about the other day," the Hokage said, making the blonde uncomfortable. "I don't know what happened or how I got to the hospital," Naruto said, making the village leader shake his head. "I didn't expect you to. The woman that had drugged you was Mizuki's lover," the Fire Shadow said, making Naruto look at him with disbelief. She felt that his love would forever be hers if she finished what he started. "She has agreed to pay the fine for destroying your home, along with the original amount Mizuki had to pay. The combined amounts will be more than enough to get you a new place," the Hokage said as he handed a check to Naruto. The blonde looked at the amount of money in his hands with awe. Such an amount was something he could only dream of. "That is not the only reason for me to have summoned you. The incident involving the Forbidden Scroll is why you are here," the Hokage said, making Naruto even more uncomfortable, something the war-hardened veteran easily caught on. "Normally you would have to pay a fine and have your chakra sealed just for coming into contact with the legacy of the Hokages." The kind man turned into a powerful figure before Naruto's eyes. His power, confidence and cold heart made the golden blonde gulp. "However, we can't charge you of the crime since you weren't officially a genin," the Hokage said, making Naruto's eyes to grow. "To not make the village look foolish, I am going to award you a B rank mission completion. You will also obtain B rank pay, but that money will be saved in case your home is destroyed again," the man said, making Naruto nod his head. "Mission details are considered important secrets to the village at this rank. I believe you know the consequences about breaking such secrets," the Hokage said, making Naruto to nod his head. The man smiled and became the man that Naruto had seen walking the village before. "I expect to see your ninja registration completed soon. I don't want you to get in the habit of turning paperwork late," the Hokage said, making the golden blonde nod his head one more time before leaving. "Old man," Naruto said with a bit of discomfort. This was the first time he stood before the Hokage while not in trouble. The man looked up from his endless supply of paperwork. "What will happen to Mizuki-sensei and his girl?" Naruto said, making the village leader sigh. "Mizuki has clearly defied us. He will be handled by a special team. His fiancée was desperate and in pain. She will get the proper medical help. Don't worry, they won't be coming near you anytime soon," the Hokage said with a reassuring smile. Thanks," Naruto said before closing the door and finally leaving. "That boy, perhaps I must become more involved with his life. Other than what I have heard, I know nothing of him." "What would you do?" Sarutobi said to himself as he took a puff from his pipe. He let out a cough when his mind made the yondaime flick him off. "Maybe this medicinal weed is too much for me," the Hokage said as he decided to stick to painkillers for help. Naruto still couldn't believe the amount of money he carried. He began to feel uncomfortable with it. Making up his mind, he decided it was time to man up. It was time for him to go to one of the places he had learned to fear. A place of such evil that villagers ignored him when it was brought up. "Welcome to the Bank of Konoha." A worker said as he opened the door for Naruto. The new shinobi didn't like the large amount of people waiting in line. Or the look of death on their face, as if their souls had been completely drained. Fuck this. The golden blonde thought as he turned around and walked as fast as he could, making sure to get out of the greedy place. He finally learned why people feared banks. It was the creepy smile they gave you when they took your hard-earned money. Uzumaki Naruto had started to get annoyed. He had spent 2 hours trying to find a bank he could trust. He was preparing to give up until hearing one last man. "Welcome to the Bank of Wind where all shinobi are welcomed," the bank worker said while passing out cards. Naruto felt that this place was the least dangerous and went in. The man was excited. The golden blonde walked in, it meant he wasn't going to get fired. Before Naruto could react, a woman walked him to a cubicle. "Are you here to open an account?" the woman said with a smile as they sat down. "Before I do anything, I want to know more about this place," Naruto said, making the woman reach into her desk. Naruto instinctively reached for a kunai. He cursed himself since he was apparently unarmed. He calmed down when the woman brought out a pamphlet. "Our bank originates from Wind Country. We just opened a branch here a week ago. But we haven't received many customers," the woman said with much disappointment. "It's not your fault, the problem is that Konoha is greedy and likes keeping its money," Naruto said, making the woman smile. "Our bank won't charge you as high interest rates as others. Also, if you open an account today you get this for free," the woman said, showing Naruto a small booklet. "What's that?" "This is a 1-week stay at Suna's most wonderful hotel," the woman said, making Naruto take the item to see them. "Are they real?" the sapphire-eyed teen said, making the woman laugh. "Our bank may be small here, but in Wind Country we have a lot of influence," the woman said, making Naruto shrug his shoulders. He didn't like any of the other banks, and this place was somewhat decent. Plus they offered him a free gift. No one ever gave him anything as a gift. He spent an hour opening an account. He never knew keeping his money safe was such hard work. His banker was surprised at all the money he had. Even in Konoha she knew most shinobi only carried a fourth of what he had saved. Naruto couldn't help but smile when he told her he planned to use his money soon. The woman had instantly lost her smile. He put his precious gift in the near-empty metal box. Only leaving enough to pay for a deposit, he left the bank to work on his new life. Though he had sworn to himself to become stronger, he had no real idea on how to do it. That was until he remembered what was on his arm. Before he could do anything he wanted answers. After a bit of cursing, the golden blonde was making a beeline to another place he had long ignored. In a few minutes he came upon the village's library. Unknown to him, someone had seen him go in. Naruto was led by the receptionist to a few books about gauntlets and ancient rings. Naruto spent an hour going through the ring book trying to find something that matched his. Only to finish the book with no real leads. Another hour and the book of gauntlets was completely useless to him. The golden blonde leaned back and rubbed his temples as he had seen the old man do when Naruto caused him paperwork. "What are you looking for?" a voice said with all the kindness and sweetness in the world. "A ring with this mark," Naruto said while pointing at the drawing on a scroll he had made. "That's the mark of the Mandarin. It represents wind if I remember correctly," the voice said, making Naruto to stop leaning back on the chair and look at who helped him. His eyes grew as he saw Ino standing there. "I've never seen you read so much before," the platinum blonde said with a smile after noticing Naruto's brain had shut down. "I don't think you've taken a real look at me before," Naruto said, making Ino glare. "Jerk, I was trying to be nice and give you a compliment." "Wait, he's a social retard, calm down, and I'm calm," Ino thought before smiling at Naruto again. "I won't help you with the Mandarin anymore if you don't show me the respect I deserve," Ino said with a fake pout, making Naruto let out a sigh. "What a shame, and here I hoped we could have had so much fun working together," Naruto said with sarcasm that Ino did not appreciate. "At least buy me dinner for helping you," Ino said, making Naruto think. "As long as you promise to not tell anyone about what we talked about," Naruto said, making the platinum blonde nod her head. She had wasted her graduation money while pampering herself and was running on an empty stomach. Ino was surprised when Naruto collected his things and went to get help finding new books. She couldn't remember the last time Naruto looked so dedicated. She wondered why this Naruto never showed up at school. His dark look clearly was intimidating, and his long sleeve made anyone careful of his right arm. The idea of a concealed weapon filled her head. "Thank you once again for the help," Naruto said, making the librarian to smile. His words made Ino remember what she had to do to eat. "My father knows a lot about the Mandarin," Ino said as Naruto sat down to read. "My great-grandfather spent years doing research, but it was all lost during Kyuubi's attack. According to legend, the Mandarin had 5 great rings of power, each representing a different element." The cerulean-eyed young lady, as she thought of herself, said with great pride as if she had done all the work. "Did your grandfather ever find images of these great rings?" Naruto said, making Ino shake her head. My great-grandfather was a quack. He thought he was a descendant of the Mandarin. Ino said, making Naruto look at her with new interest, his powerful glare made her blush. Is that all you know? Naruto said while preparing to open his book. Ino quickly got control of herself once again. Legend says that the Mandarin had lived for 500 years before being defeated by the Iron Fighter. The reason my grandfather stopped his research was because he had discovered the Mandarin's curse. Ino said, making Naruto get serious. The original Mandarin was to be reborn in its descendants. My dad says such a thing is impossible. Ino said, making Naruto wonder if the man was right. After all, he considered the Kyuubi impossible to fit in him, but it was. Great, something else that might drive me insane. The golden blonde thought as he caught a quick glance at his stomach and then his right arm. When the Mandarin first died, his rings and armor were cast throughout his kingdom. Many tried to claim his name and power, but all have failed. Ino said, making Naruto nod his head. She was shocked that Naruto collected his books and stood. You've already given me more than enough information for today. I'm going to check these books out. Wait for me outside. Naruto said, making Ino glare at him. Oh no, I'm not stupid. I've escaped plenty of losers with the wait outside trick. I know you're planning to use the windows. Ino said, making Naruto smile. I'm an honest guy, Ino, I never considered bailing on my promise. Naruto said, making Ino look at him with disbelief. I always keep my word even if I have to do something I don't like. Naruto said as he headed towards the checkout desk. You don't like spending time with me? Ino said, making the dark blonde to look at her. There's one thing I have in common with Sasuke, we both hate fangirls. Naruto said, making Ino look at him with rage. She had been labeled that way by many before. Ino tried to hit Naruto on the back of the head. He instantly tilted it, making her hit a bookshelf. Naruto smirked as he heard thousands of books hit the ground. Looks like you're going to be here for a while. Naruto said, making Ino and the librarian look at him in disbelief. Naruto brought out a bill and gently swung it to Ino's direction. Enjoy your dinner. Naruto said before walking out with 3 thin books. Leaving a fuming Ino and the librarian to pity him. Chapter 4, his new power. Uzumaki Naruto was glad that he was able to get rid of Ino. He wanted to learn about the Mandarin and his secrets as soon as possible. The golden blonde found a dirt cheap motel and got to reading. You really are a pig. A voice said, making Ino to turn with rage. The platinum blonde had been happily eating a Japanese dessert before being rudely interrupted. What do you want, billboard brow? Ino said, making the pink-haired girl mad. Have you seen Naruto? Some girls got between me and Sasuke-kun, I need to let off some steam. Sakura said while cracking her knuckles. I wouldn't be messing with him if I was you. Ino said, making Sakura look at her before a smug look filled her face. Why not? I'm not scared of Naruto like you. Sakura said, making Ino blush. When they were smaller, Ino believed the rumors that the kind golden blonde really was a monster. It had taken a few years of being near him for Ino not to shake when he came around. She would have liked to apologize for her cold behavior from when she was younger. Yet the fear stayed in her since she saw that there was only one person in school that had been able to best the blonde in raw power. That person was a professional ninja. She feared that now he could snap her neck in half and was too dangerous to admit to him the wrongs she did long ago. I'm not scared of Naruto, it's just that, Ino said with hesitation, making Sakura smirk. Don't tell me you like that freak. Sakura said, making Ino look at her in disbelief. Of course not. Naruto is so stupid, Ino said before the sight of a researching golden blonde came and filled her mind. Ugly, Ino said after shaking her head to get rid of the blonde from her head. Only to see Naruto in his new intimidating clothes, his cold dark stare that ran a chill down her spine. The way his hair flowed free, making him look more mature and vicious. Sakura wondered why her rival was suddenly acting so strange. I don't like Naruto, it's just that, Ino said, struggling to keep her mouth under control. Her father had told her what happened to the blonde to help calm his nerves. Only to make Ino an emotional mess. I can't say, just leave Naruto alone. He isn't being the same idiot we know. Ino said before paying for her food as Sakura looked at her with confusion. The platinum blonde was excited to know she still had money for a few magazines. Sakura snorted and walked away. She knew the golden blonde would never do anything to her. He loved her and only her, he would die for her, so he would gladly take her beatings and then call her the prettiest girl in the world. Sakura smiled as she remembered the perks of having her own private fanboy. Naruto closed his 3rd book, seeing that the early signs of light began to fill his temporary room. He had never spent so much time reading. He had stayed up for over 20 hours for his shinobi training, but never to read. Naruto wasn't sure if he was able to distinguish fact from fiction. Since the 3 books spoke about the Mandarin legend. Some of the things he read were extreme even by his standards, which had greatly changed recently. He didn't even believe that a cage was capable of such power. There was one thing that disturbed him about the Mandarin the most. The man was pure evil. When Ino had first told him about the amazing power of the Mandarin, he figured that the man was one of the awesome good guys he grew up hearing about. After all, the man had made a kingdom with his own bare hands and suffered a great number of ordeals to obtain the rings. The Mandarin's empire had lasted for 400 of his 500 years of life. According to the books, the rings had extended his life. He didn't know if he could trust the books, he feared that he would be tempted to do things he wouldn't like. Thought he wasn't sure the Mandarin's power should be allowed to found by some wacko. Still, to become Hokage or just gain any form of respect, he knew power was needed. Naruto looked at the ring on his right arm as it pulsed with the promise of accomplishing all of his dreams. The Mandarin had respect and power, he took what he wanted, and during the time of his rule, no other force grew to oppose him. Naruto started chuckling, there was no way for a human to have so much power. The blonde calmed down and looked out a window. This is foolish, I mean if the legends are true. I would be able to got to this window, point my finger and say burn, and Naruto said as he pointed his index finger to a tower of water. His eyes grew in disbelief as the fire gem glowed brighter than before. He could feel his chakra gather to his armored arm, the silver metal turned into molten red as his chakra flowed to his hand. His breath became unstable as his chakra was forced to collect in his index finger. It shot through the glass as a line of flames, welding its way through the water tower. Naruto wasn't able to see it, but the flames continued through the village, torching many things in its way. Finally stopping at the village's defensive walls. The village went into red alert thinking their enemies were testing out a new weapon. Thanks to the mayhem, Naruto was allowed to rest for 3 days without having to pay. The golden blonde was glad the man was being questioned, which was why the Anbu told him to leave the building. Naruto couldn't believe what he caused, though it made him excited. He made sure to do more research before experimenting again. There was too much he didn't know on what the rings were really capable of. However, the taste of so much power was something he never had before. Especially after hearing from a shinobi that his attack had done so much damage in a few seconds. He was going to have fun learning more about his weapon, but for the moment there was something he found in the books that caught his attention. Which was the reason he now walked into a shinobi store. Chapter 5 First Steps. It was a peaceful day in Konoha. The sun was shining, the birds were singing. Yet one man didn't feel right, something was telling him to close his shop, his gut was screaming for him to go home and hold his family, as whatever evil that was to plague the village would disappear. He was about to throw that way of thought away until he heard his doorbell ring. His eyes grew as he saw the blonde hair of a certain demon walk in. "Hey. You are not allowed in here," the now angry owner said, making Naruto glare at him. The man rushed back in fear, nearly wetting himself as he hit the wall. This isn't right, he supposed. Smile, walk out and go rot somewhere. The man thought with fear as the golden blonde walked closer with confidence. "I want everything you have based on the Mandarin style of the fallen Jade Empire," Naruto said, making the man's eyes to grow in disbelief. "I don't have that here, and even if I did I wouldn't give it to you," the man said, making Naruto's glare to intensify. His sudden bloodlust was now making the man want to soil himself even more than before. "Then you are useless to me," Naruto said as he placed his hands on the counter in a threatening way. "Pray we do not meet in the streets," the golden blonde said before leaving a terrified villager. Naruto was brewing up a storm throughout the village after a day of searching for the Mandarin style. This is insane, the Mandarin style was used by an army of 1,000 centuries ago. Why can't I find a single scroll, Naruto thought to himself. Only to forget he would think out loud when at this level of rage. "That's because the Mandarin style is forbidden," a man said, making the sapphire-eyed teen to turn. Naruto had never seen the man before, he was heavily covered in bandages. He didn't trust him, mainly because he had not sensed the old geezer. "What fool came up with that idea?" Naruto said with annoyance. "The first council of cages, after a hidden group attempted to remake the Jade Empire," the man said, making a smirk find its way to Naruto. "The Jade Empire is nothing without the Mandarin and his rings," Naruto said with arrogance. "So true, why is it that you of all people wish to possess the Mandarin style?" the man asked, making Naruto's smirk to grow. "The academy style is only for the academy. It might work against bandits, but it's going to get me dead when I go up against shinobi. I heard the legend of the Mandarin recently, I figured it was something I could look into," Naruto said, making the man smirk. "You don't fool me, boy," the man said, making Naruto's eyes to grow. "I know what you hide under those bandages," the man said, making Naruto's exposed arm go to his right arm. "I also know the pain of having a damaged limb, one so disturbing it kills you if others see it," the man said as Naruto looked at his arm. "I was too old to adapt to the Mandarin style, but you shouldn't have a problem. Go to this place, they should be able to get you what you need and more. The Mandarin is something that the public fears. Always keep true to your shinobi training, and those fears will disappear," the man said, making Naruto bow in gratitude after taking a note. The man soon left with a smile. "I hope for your sake this information is correct, old man," Naruto said with a whisper, making Danzo to smirk. The report is true, the boy has changed since the last attempt on his life. If things go well, he will bring glory to the village, Danzo thought as he sensed Naruto walk away. It had not taken long for the master of root to hear that Naruto had been harassing village merchants for the Mandarin-based things he seeked. Danzo made sure the counselor the Hokage didn't get word of this. He believed that Naruto carried great potential due to his greater burden. He found the leaders of his home fools for casting the boy away. His disgust in the ignorant populace grew as he saw the village worship the son of the second greatest traitor the world could have seen. He wondered how his home could be so blind. The man hated the Hokage for preventing him from raising a great shinobi. To make things worse, the man had said that Danzo only saw Naruto as a weapon. Danzo was not a fool, he knew more than he let on. I knew I would find you here. Ino said as Naruto was heading to the library. I'm returning what I borrowed. Naruto said as he carried the books with his left arm. Couldn't read them? Ino said with a teasing tone. I'm done with them, what do you want? Naruto said, making Ino to smile. The dress. Ino said, making Naruto to look at her with annoyance. You have nothing I need. Naruto said, making Ino to turn. A smile slowly grew on her face. I got you just where I want you. Ino thought as she let out a light giggle. Oh, I don't about that. Remember how I told you my great-grandfather never found the rings? Ino said, making Naruto to look at her with his eyes full of thirst. Ino felt powerful, she liked having control over someone, especially this new Naruto. Seems I was wrong, well, not technically. Ino said, making Naruto confused. My great-grandfather did know of the location of one ring. Ino said, making Naruto's eyes to grow. Where, tell me now? The old Naruto would have yelled as he shook the platinum blonde in front of him. Has the location changed? Naruto asked, making Ino to turn with her victory smile. Nope, just looked into it this morning. Ino said with her smile as she handed Naruto a magazine. I'm guessing this is the dress you want. Naruto said as he held a fashion magazine. Exactly, there's only one left, but I blew my allowance and bonuses for the year. Get it for me. Ino said with pleading eyes as Naruto had a mental debate with himself. You have yet to fail me with the information you have given me before, so I will buy the dress, but you won't get it until I see the ring. The Mandarin is quite unique. Naruto said as Ino was also finding the old legend useful. Though she wished she had more info to sell. Ino followed Naruto into the library before taking him to her favorite store. Ino wanted to hide as she saw Sakura in the store with their moms. It's hard having a love rival when my mom is friends with Sakura's mom. Ino thought as she hid behind a rack of clothes. Hey mom, there's the dress I want. Sakura said, making Ino's heart to tighten up. She always has to copy me. The platinum teen thought as she hid. I'm sorry dear, it's just too expensive, after a few missions you can buy whatever you want, Sakura's mom said, making Ino to sigh in relief. Ino's been going on about that dress since she saw it in her magazine the other day. Ino's mom said, making Ino embarrassed and Sakura mad. I doubt that fat pig won't look as good in it as I would. Inner Sakura said with pride. Mom, that dress is the hottest thing ever, Ino will get Sasuke-kun before me if she wears that dress. Sakura said, making the mothers laugh. Yeah right, Sasuke-kun only loves me, Inner Sakura said as she was wrapped in a seductive embrace by an imaginary Sasuke. You don't have to worry about that, Sakura, she won't be getting that dress anytime soon, I can guarantee that. Ino's mom said, making Sakura to smile as her daughter became depressed. What can I help you with, sir? A female worker said while feeling uncomfortable. Naruto never knew glaring was so beneficial. The whole day he had learned the value of scaring others. She wants that dress, and I want it on her as fast as possible. Naruto said, making the woman to quickly nod her head. Many of the women shopping turned to his direction, it seemed they also had their heart set on the dress, thought the golden blonde did not think for a second that they would look good in it. Naruto, have you even seen the price on this? Ino said, making Naruto to look at her. She herself had yet to see the price, she just wanted it because it looked good in the magazine. The dress isn't yours until I get what I want. Naruto said, making Sakura and the other women to blush. How dare you take advantage of my daughter? Ino's mom said, making Ino to look beet red. Before anyone in the room could react, a protective mother had slapped Naruto. You're as foolish as your daughter. Naruto said as the hit left no mark on his face. How dare you? The mother said with great rage. Your daughter contains something very important to me. Due to your poor parenting, I can only unlock the information by buying her stuff. Other than that, she is useless to me. Naruto said, making the women to look at him with disbelief, then rage. Naruto, that's a really messed up thing to say even by your standards. Sakura said as she cracked her knuckles. That's right, you put that skinny whore down. Keep it up and I won't hit you for doing such a good job. Inner Sakura said with a smile as she held a collar with a rabid Naruto, trying to get to a scared Ino. Did I lie? Ino's obsession with Sasuke has her selling information from her self-proclaimed quack ancestor. An obsession that a good mother would have put to rest. I advise you to back off before you make a scene. Naruto said with a cold tone. Ino's mother was going to hit Naruto again. The woman was surprised to see her husband hold her hand. Daddy? Ino said in shock as the man looked very upset. He had been sitting in a chair with a few other men. That's enough, dear Uzumaki. What information does my daughter have that is so important to you? Inoichi said with a glare. Don't worry about it. Naruto said as the dress was handed to Ino in a box. Naruto paid for the dress and Ino handed him the documentation she had. You might be a fangirl, Ino, but I hope you have enough honor to be professional and keep your mouth shut. Naruto said as he walked out of the store. Ino was red as her parents were glaring at her. The platinum blonde tried to look as innocent as possible as her parents grew more with fury. Sakura on the other hand still wanted the dress and was cursing herself for not using her fanboy. Shanro. Naruto is my bitch. His money is only to be used on me, inner Sakura screamed as she sat on a throne that Naruto happily carried, while praising her as the greatest thing ever. Chapter 6 Welcome to the dark side. The village of Konoha, a proud and happy place, except when a certain blonde-haired Jinchuriki would run chaos throughout the shinobi village. All of the villagers knew he was evil given a human body, with his evil schemes, his evil hairstyle, his evil walk, his evil clothes, his evil smell. Heck, even the way he read about the great museums of the world was evil. Many villagers had to take a second look at the golden blonde. They couldn't believe the subject he was reading, in fact they couldn't believe he even knew how to read to begin with. Uzumaki Naruto had an interesting week. He had stopped a trader from stealing a historical treasure, which he stole himself. Then learned he contained the strongest mass of chakra known to the world. Then was given a field promotion for using a high-level jutsu he had spent many hours to learn. Getting chased away from the only shinobi that saw him as human. Being left to burn in his own apartment. Learning that he possessed the Mandarin's ring that had reacted to him and now gave him a wicked arm. Finally to being harassed by a certain flower-growing Yamanaka for money. The golden blonde was walking on the main street as he read the magazine that he had to buy at a ridiculous rate from one Yamanaka Ino. Using his unbandaged arm to hold the magazine as he read the article about the ancient ring which was considered a national treasure. So the daimyo of Earth holds claim over the ring of Earth. A bit simple-minded if you ask me. It shouldn't be too hard to get my hands on it. Naruto said as he entered the dark part of the village. He could see prostitutes, shady dealers, bookies and some other dark things before looking for a certain bar. Wow, this place looks like crap and the people here are ready to stab each other in the back. I should probably move down here to lower the chances of getting attacked. The golden blonde thought as he came to a stop. This place isn't for snot-nosed brats. A man said as he stood in front of Naruto. The bouncers were clearly not shinobi but contained enough skill to defeat most civilians. Too bad for them, the sun-kissed blonde had just been promoted from civilian. The two guards watched in disbelief as 30 Narutos appeared out of thin air. The screaming men had soon been moved from the doorway. The real golden blonde walked with a smirk as the two large men were forced to kneel before him as he made his way to the door and the last doorman. Remember my face. Naruto said as he slipped some money to the now smirking goon. The cigar smoke-filled room soon grew silent as Naruto came in. He easily ignored the odd looks and whispers as he reached the bartender. What's your poison, kid? The one-eyed man said as Naruto looked at him. Give me the dragon's blood and some alone time with Misty, I heard she's good. Naruto said, making the man single-eyed grow. Sure thing, she'll be waiting at the last room to the right. The man said as he handed Naruto a glass with green liquid that was releasing a constant fog. He wondered what evil was in the drink. Naruto took the drink and headed towards the designated door. He opened it and went into the dark room. The sound of a great struggle was heard once the thick door closed. The bartender and a few hidden employees in the crowd smiled. The lights turned on and Naruto reappeared beaten and tied to a chair. A short red-haired woman with some curves walked up to the blonde. The large thugs moved from her path. She was a bit shocked such a small kid had caused so much damage to her men. I'm guessing you're Misty. The occupants of the room turned to the voice in disbelief. They were shocked to see the golden blonde sit in the chair Misty had been in. How? The redhead asked with no sign of being caught off guard, even though she was. When I was handed this. Naruto said as he placed the unknown drink on the fancy oak desk. I noticed the old Cyclops messing with the bottom of his counter. Figured he was warning someone about me, so I sent a clone and used a simple henge to blend in when the fight started. Shit. This is why I hate getting involved with shinobi. Misty thought as the tied-up clone turned into a cloud of smoke. Before you turds try anything, I want you to know I have 4 clones outside ready to head to the tower if I stop my sudden stream of chakra. Naruto said with a smile after seeing a few men reach for weapons. What do you want? Misty said with a cold stare as she saw Naruto look completely carefree and in control. The question is. What do you want? Naruto said as he slid the drink on the table. The redhead slowly walked up to him and took the drink. Her eyes grew as she saw a small envelope under the drink. "So he sent you?" Misty said with a smirk as she finished reading the message. It was a large wad of cash from Danzo. She had recognized the kanji for root Danzo used on his wax seal when he was serious. To the surprise of her guards, their boss motioned for them to leave. She didn't like the fact that Naruto made so sign of planning to get off her chair. "I was told that you could get me the Mandarin style," Naruto said, making the woman almost snort. "DCH that old thing. Yeah, I got it somewhere," Misty said before snapping her finger, making a nerdy-looking worker to enter the room. She whispered to his ear and got some very quick nods from the man. The greasy-haired man quickly left to get what she wanted. Naruto noticed that he came from a secret door leading underground than the door the guards had used to leave. "This place is secured, but I don't trust my men to all of my items, they are sealed and labeled with numbers that only I know how to work," Misty said with arrogance, making Naruto to smirk. "Your friend wants to take care of the bill for the scroll, but you don't seem like the type to owe debts. I'll give you the scroll if you do a job for me," the woman said as she tossed a scroll from the top of her desk to Naruto. "All I want is confirmation, find a safe route to it, and then I'll take care of the rest," Misty said with the smile most lawyers gave to their suckers, I mean clients. "Let's see what happens first," Naruto said as he stood while reading the scroll. "I'll be back soon," Naruto said as he walked past the redhead. "I'll be waiting, boy," Misty said with no sign that she had faith in the golden blonde's abilities. Naruto couldn't wait to see her face when he came back. "I hate you," Yamanaka Ino yelled before running upstairs to her room. The last hours had been the worst of her life. Her parents had not only chewed her out for insulting her ancestor, but also for blackmailing Naruto when she should happily help him get to his feet. They had even gone as far as to question her about her sexual life with the golden blonde, which had completely embarrassed her since she hadn't even had her first kiss, much less perform the sexual acts her mom had said. She wondered what horrors her parents did when she wasn't around. No, she took that back, she didn't want to know. The final nail in the coffin was that her parents wanted her to return her new expensive name brand dress that Naruto had happily bought for her. They had even gone so far to say that if she didn't return it, they were going to give it to Sakura. "It's not fair, this is my dress, why do I have to give it to Billboard Brow?" Ino thought as she yelled into her pillow. It was already soaked with her tears in hopes that her crying would change her parents' mind. Ino figured it didn't work an hour later when her parents hadn't come in with a change of heart. "Fine, I'll take it back," Ino thought before her conscience had finally convinced her that her parents were right. "But not until after I'm done wearing it," Ino said before she quickly got out of her clothes to change. "Careful dummy, you almost removed the tag," Ino scolded herself before slowing down. Naruto was sitting in the shadows of the house as he looked at the house that belonged to a council member. "I don't sense anyone that could cause me trouble or any traps. All that is left is my distraction, these village makes it too easy," Naruto thought before signaling a clone to start. It transformed into Sasuke and went to a group of teenage girls. The fake heartthrob said a few words before the girls started to fight among themselves, though they had been great friends only a few moments ago. Before long, people began to rush outside of their homes to see what was going on. Naruto smirked as he saw an old man with a stick up his ass and his 3 spoiled sons run outside. "What are you stupid hussies doing outside of my house?" the man yelled before flash bombs went off, blinding the block. His clones rushed to find the room with the treasure. Naruto hurried and memorized as much as he could before leaving. "Like I said, too easy," Naruto said as he was in the safety of Konoha's red district. He had spent an hour collecting and sorting the data his clones gave him. The golden blonde was a bit surprised to see Misty waiting for him in the public bar, but it went away when he noticed no customers in the building. "What the hell was that about? I wanted you to be secretive about what you did, not announce it to the world. What kind of shinobi are you?" Misty said with rage. Naruto ignored her as he approached with a smirk. He counted 30 armed goons. He wanted to laugh at their stupidity for wanting to take on a guy that can make hundreds of copies of himself. He thanked Mizuki for teaching him how to never be outnumbered. "I was planning a prank on the councilman's son a while back. They will be so busy looking for me that you can practically walk in through the front door. This will tell you how to do it right," Naruto said before exposing a simple scroll. "My little stunt has give you more than one way in and out," Naruto said as Misty tried to take the scroll. "Patience," Naruto said as he got the scroll out of her reach. Misty snapped her fingers and a man brought a large scroll. "As promised, the Mandarin style in all of its dark glory. Containing all 6 ring stances, you won't find a better copy," the woman said as Naruto gave her the scroll. Misty turned and prepared to leave to her office. "I want to buy you a drink to celebrate," Naruto said, making the redhead turn to look at him. "To celebrate our friendship," Naruto said, making Misty nod her head. "What's so important that a kid like you will continue to associate it with us?" Misty asked as Naruto slidered the drink he had bought. They had traveled in silence and she quickly rushed to sit in her chair. She didn't know why, but she had the gut feeling Naruto was going to take it. "What do you mean?" Naruto said, making the redhead laugh. "Don't play dumb, I know who you are. Word of your dream has probably already reached Iowa by now," Misty said, making the golden blonde to smirk as he sat in the chair in front of her. "In case you haven't noticed, but this isn't the place a future Kage will hang at, much less a respectable shinobi of Konoha," Misty said, making Naruto's smirk show no change. "I do things my way, to be the greatest Hokage I'm going to do things differently," Naruto said, making Misty smile. "I think this is the start of a beautiful friendship," the redhead said, making Naruto's smirk to grow. "It's going to take more than this for me to consider you a friend. You can start by finding me these 3 rings," Naruto said as he handed a paper to Misty. "What's so important about these rings?" "They belong to the Mandarin, it would help improve the image I wish to create. If I can use his style while wearing his rings," Naruto said as a dark air came from his body, making Misty make sure not to get on his wrong side. "Oh, and any new information on the Mandarin you can obtain will help me, I'll make sure to compensate you and your men," Naruto said before giving her a light head bow. He soon left after he finished his words. The redhead hadn't relaxed until he was reported gone from the bar. "Ayubi's chakra and the Mandarin's rings, if Danzo plans to help this kid it's because he knows something," Misty said as she looked at the image of 3 rings with 3 symbols. "Two men hungry for the title of Hokage, which one will I help?" The redhead said to herself as she took in the things Naruto said and uncovered in the council member's house. "What are you doing here?" Naruto said with annoyance as Ino was breathing hard. She had been running all over the village hoping to find him. She had also been left to knock on his door for 5 minutes as she clearly saw Naruto on a bed. The new motel he was in had windows to see the outside. Naruto allowed her to scream and pound on the door long enough before the management was called for her, making a scene. "Why didn't you open for me?" Ino said as she stared down the golden blonde. She let out a sigh as she brought the bag with her dress to him. Her body was shaking while fighting the urge to not return the dress. "My dad wants you to have this and for me to return this," Ino said as she offered the bag to Naruto. He saw a familiar box and a storage scroll. "I'm guessing that's the Mandarin's information from your quack relative. That one must be the dress then," Naruto said, making Ino nod her head. He could see the regret in her eyes. "The dress is yours, where you keep it is up to you," Naruto said, making Ino look at him in shock. "Don't do this to me, Naruto, my dad said not to come home until you took the dress back," Ino said as Naruto went to close the large scroll he had been reading before Ino got too curious. If she wasn't so devastated about returning the dress, she would have already nagged him about the ancient scroll. Memo to self, bitch to Naruto later about that old scroll, Ino thought as the golden blonde turned to look at her. "That dress is useless to me, I don't practice cross-dressing and it was fitted for you, even if I wanted to I couldn't give it to Sakura. Finally, that store you picked is for women only, with a store credit policy might I add," Naruto said, making Ino feel terrible. "Keep it in your house or throw it in the trash, I don't care," Naruto said as he cut Ino off before she could apologize for taking advantage of him. "Why are you being like this? Why can't I apologize to you?" Ino thought as her heart filled with pain at the cold and harsh tone Naruto used. "I need to take a shower, I would prefer if you would leave," Naruto said as he got a change of clothes from a bag. "Naruto was never this mean to me, even when he left me to hang at the library, at least then he still had his smirk. So why is he being so cruel? It's almost like I don't know him. Wait, what was it that daddy always used to say? But there's no way Naruto could," Ino thought as she looked at the golden blonde. "What are you waiting for? You some kind of reverse pervert," Naruto said as Ino swallowed her spit to talk. "Here goes nothing," Ino thought as she looked into Naruto's eyes to see if she was making a mistake. "Since you don't care what I do with it, can I leave it in your dresser?" Ino said, making Naruto to turn from her and head to the bathroom. The platinum blonde was sweating bullets as she awaited Naruto to insult her after placing his towel on his shoulder. "I don't care what you do, but this isn't my home," Naruto said, making Ino to give him an honest smile. "I know so until you get a new home, kept it in the bag, then leave some place in your house for it please," Ino said, making the golden blonde to smirk, which brought her a blush and some relief. "Whatever, but you owe me Yamanaka," Naruto said before Ino left with a skip to the door. "I'll let you take me out on a date," Ino said with a teasing tone as she tried to look as cute and sexy as possible. "I was hopping for something with real value," Naruto said, making Ino pout before sticking her tongue at him and slamming the door. "Took that airhead long enough and people call me slow," Naruto said as he went to relax a bit. "Is that really Naruto?" The newest group of Konoha shinobi thought as they saw the golden blonde walk in. Even though they had heard about the attack on his body, they couldn't believe the radical changes that happened to him. At first glance one could see his physical changes. Long gone was his eye-catching orange and blue jumper. Now replaced by an almost all-black outfit. The most noticeable change, which had been the thing to catch Ino's attention, was the fact that he no longer carried his famous smile. Naruto walked with a new attitude as a new person, he considered himself reborn from the fires the village used on him. His now free golden hair and the face that was allowed to relax from all of its forced smiling made him look more mature. The world-famous mark of a Konoha shinobi was tightly wrapped around his right bicep. Though many girls would not admit it, they got a bit excited at seeing Naruto. Needless to say, one Hyuga Hinata was pushed over the edge by her ridiculous feelings for the blonde and now laid in a puddle of her own blood. Naruto-kun. The young and often questioned heir thought as she fell to her world of bliss. No longer will you fools look down on me. I'm not the stupid boy you idiots knew. Uzumaki, Naruto thought as he sat down in his old seat. Due to the acts of Mizuki's lover, the students had been given an additional 3 weeks of vacation than the normal one. The Hokage had wanted the sun-kissed blonde to relax and get used to his injuries. Naruto instead had spent every day of that time off working to master the Mandarin style. Something he knew wasn't going to happen with a little bit of time he had. Due to his die-hard attitude and Spartan-like training, he was now able to get into his stances and practices his katas without looking at the scroll to see if he did something wrong. His body still ached from the body training he had to do, often using clones to act like drill instructors. He heard his longtime rival curse when the sound of running and a catfight came to the room. Naruto didn't need to turn his head to know who had just come in. I win. Ino and Sakura yelled as one. No, I did. Stop copying everything I say. No, you're copying me. Stupid pig. Pink-haired bitch. Ino paused and looked at Sakura as the girl was completely caught off guard. The platinum blonde didn't mean to have taken their argument so far. What are you smirking at, dope? Aren't you Sakura's guardian? She'll start crying if you don't protect her. That girl is useless without you to hold her hand. The raven-haired prodigy said as Naruto looked at him with the corner of his eyes. Fuck off. Naruto said, making the class shocked. Reason 1 was that they also expected Naruto to come flying to Sakura's rescue. Reason 2 was they were waiting for the fight to come since Sasuke had insulted Naruto's crush. Sasuke-kun, why are you doing this to me? Don't you know I love you? You're everything to me, why won't you acknowledge me? Don't my feelings matter to you? Don't you care how your words cut me worse than any kunai can ever hope to dream? Inner Sakura said as her outer person was too heartbroken to do anything. Sakura did look ready to cry. Ino was feeling really terrible since not that long ago they were best friends. The moist emerald green eyes were staring at her love with all the pain of the world. They cleared up when she saw the familiar sun-kissed hair. Shanrao. Naruto, you stupid useless turd. Why aren't you ripping Ino's head off? I am your queen, no, I am your goddess. You're supposed to throw your life away to protect me. I give your pitiful existence a reason to live. Now come here and be a good loyal slave and make me feel better. Inner Sakura yelled as she brought out a key that was hidden between her growing breast. She made her way to a large cage where Naruto was standing ever ready to do her bidding. Come here, Naruto, my precious fool. Your master has been hurt by that blonde-haired slut and Sasuke-kun needs to be reminded on how great I am. Fill you master's ear with the great praise that only you can sing. Inner Sakura said as she unlocked the cage. She stepped to the side and saw the newer Naruto break through like a savage beast, the same beast Sakura had been told all her life that Naruto is. Though the bubblegum-haired teen loved the raven hair heartthrob, it still made her feel better when Naruto would savagely attack him for hurting her. She would get to see Sasuke work up a sweat and it felt nice that Naruto was willing to draw blood for her. She figured he would probably kill for her if she asked him with a smile. Well? Sakura said after Inner Sakura got frustrated at the fact nothing was happening. The golden blonde sat quietly, which brought shock to the students. It didn't take long for Sakura to lose her patience with the sun-kissed blonde. Naruto. The room got real quiet from the awkward feelings filling the room. Sakura and Ino had made their way near Naruto, Sakura to get her pet to do something and Ino to see how the golden blonde had been. As all of this was happening, Naruto's mind was going over the odd event involving a certain boy. One he had ran into again earlier in the morning. That boy greatly reminded him of his old foolish self. He hated that. Naruto had met the honored grandson as he turned in his shinobi registration. The Hokage had praised him for doing a good job. Naruto didn't know his instincts had improved so much from his training, but they did, which is why they kicked in when the screen door was opened. While a weak wave of killing intent was directed towards the Hokage, Naruto threw a few of his new kunai pinning, to his surprise, a small boy. The child hadn't been allowed to make his Hokage rant and now a shinobi had attacked him. The Hokage had explained the situation before his grandson could cry, though he was left pinned to the wall during the explanation. Both were surprised to see the kunai instantly make its way back to Naruto. He used ninja wire to call them back. How long has he been able to use it with such skill? The Hokage and his advisors thought along with the Jounin instructor of the honored grandson. Naruto was never allowed to carry many weapons on him since they were so expensive. Getting tired of going after them, Naruto would always have 5 kunai and shuriken attached with ninja wire. To make it easier to find and collected them. He stopped using the wire openly since Sasuke had copied him. Unknown to the golden blonde, his manipulation of projectiles with ninja wire rivaled a certain chocolate-eyed girl with an obsession for all things pointy. A level of skill Sasuke didn't care to obtain. Naruto then silently walked past the boy that had started to glare at him. The golden blonde had been annoyed for hours as Konohamaru followed his every move. Saying he wanted to become his subordinate, Naruto smirked at those words. He knew what jutsu would be best for the small knucklehead. Their training hadn't been allowed to get far before being interrupted by the glasses-wearing jounin. Naruto was disappointed at himself, but hitting the private instructor with a sea of naked girls was fun. Though he promised himself never to use such a technique again. "What's wrong with your face?" Ino said as the golden blonde had ignored Sakura's glare and harsh words. "What about it?" Naruto said, making Ino smirk in a playful way. "I don't know what you were thinking, but it made you ugly." Ino said, making the class laugh. Sakura was still planning ways to hurt her disobedient fanboy. "We're going to need whips, chains, wax, a very secluded spot so that no one can hear him scream throughout the night, and if he survives, we might have to try the same thing with Sasuke-kun, but in a more romantic way." Inner Sakura said, making her outer persona blush. No one had seen it, but Sasuke had felt a cold feeling run down his spine. "Naruto-kun isn't ugly, he is very handsome, and right now he's oh god, he is so hot. I want him to ravish me. Oh god." Hinata thought with a glare before loosing herself to her mature imagination. "I was picturing you in that dress you made me buy. It made your butt look big and not in the good way." Naruto said, making Ino blush and the class to laugh. "That's my boy. I knew you wouldn't betray me. Next time you ask me on a date, I'll let you buy me something expensive, that should make you happy for a long time." Inner Sakura said as she petted an image of Naruto on the head. Before Ino and Sakura could react, Naruto stood and forced the platinum blonde to sit in the only seat next to him. The strongest and loudest fangirls of the planet were left dumbstruck because of what happened. It didn't take long for Ino to notice she was next to Sasuke-kun. Naruto sat down and began to read a new book he had gotten at the library. Sakura on the other hand was still processing what had happened. Ino decided to get Naruto back for treating her so roughly, but she was grateful for what he did for her. Normally Naruto would give in to Sakura's bitching and allow her to sit next to Sasuke. Sakura stormed off as she saw Ino, making sure she knew she wasn't going to get up. "How dare you do this to me, Naruto? I won't ever forgive you. I'll make you spend the rest of your life pleasing me before I even consider forgiving you." Inner Sakura said before her mind flashed with the thought of Naruto starting to get intimate with her. "Does my master likes it when her fox does this?" The golden blonde said as she sat on his lap without his shirt on. They were in a bed in the most expensive hotel in Fire Country. The same one she planned to use while losing her virginity to Sasuke. The golden blonde was kissing her neck and ever so gently biting her, his hands running all over her body. Suddenly one snaked its way down her side, running its fingers on her stomach before entering. "Yes, you stupid bitch, now get back to work." Inner Sakura moaned before the order persona shook her head. The last thing Sakura had saw was her pushing Naruto and suddenly grabbing Naruto's head and forcing it to the lower half of her body. Where the hell did that come from? Sakura thought before she sat down and noticed something that had never happened before finally happened. She had gotten excited from one of her fantasy while not doing nothing more but fantasying, not even her thoughts of her precious Sasuke-kun had caused that. Iruka came in and flinched when he saw Naruto. If Iruka had not accidentally driven Naruto away, the blonde wouldn't have been caught in the fire. The Chunin blamed himself for any wounds on the young blonde. "Naruto, your hand." Iruka said with bulging eyes and pain in his voice. "An inconvenience caused by the fire," Naruto said as the bandaged limb hanged on his right side. The blonde had learned people were nicer and underestimate him because of the fake injured limb. His long sleeve had been caught by his seat, macking the bandaged hand to show to the class. A few gasped since they hadn't thought he had been badly hurt. Some wondered if he could even use it. "Boy, I don't like people staring at it," Naruto said, making Iruka to cough. The man was once again blaming himself, swearing to do something to pay Naruto back for the treachery his two friends did. "Right," Iruka said before starting to tell the class that they were one step closer to reaching their dreams. What kind of teacher allows his best friends to bring so much harm to his student? Iruka thought with great pain. "Stupid dope, you'll be nothing more but a liability to the village," Sasuke thought with arrogance. "Poor Naruto, I wonder if he is pain." Ino thought as she remembered the way he looked when he stood in his burned down home. Almost like a kicked puppy. "Don't worry, Naruto-kun, I'm going to become strong, and when I'm heir you'll have all the money in the world, so you won't have to worry about working." With my political power you'll become Hokage, I promise all I want in return is for you two to love me. Hinata thought before a light moan escaped her lips. And give me 20 babies. Hinata thought before another moan was heard, but this one overshadowed by the sound of her head hitting the floor. Stupid Naruto. How dare you get hurt? You're supposed to work for me. You can't please me if you're broken. Why the hell are you so damn useless? Inner Sakura yelled as she beat a whimpering Naruto with a whip. That's right, fools, think what you want, but you and this cursed village won't ever be able to touch me again. Naruto thought as his left arm went over his right and rubbed the edge of his new ring. Chapter 7 Enter Kakashi. The village of Konoha was a place full of pride. Many of the young destined to protect them had just finished graduating. They were all together learning about who they were going to grow strong with. They all carried pride and joy about the fact they were one step closer to their dream. All but two certain blondes. One was upset at the fact she couldn't be with her true love, and the male blonde just didn't like who he was with. Naruto didn't like his team, however he knew nothing was going to change it. He also didn't feel like complaining, if he had time to whine then he could be training. So in the end that's what he did during his lunch break. He ate 20 rice balls in 5 minutes, a task almost impossible except to the Akimichi clan, and went to a nearby training ground. During the break after graduation he had located all of the training grounds in the village that meet the requirements of his Mandarin scroll. The golden blonde had started on preparing his body for the strikes his style did. Naruto was the last one to enter his class when lunch was over. Haruka was upset that Team 7 showed no sign of willing teamwork. He hoped the Jounin instructor could change that. Naruto went back to reading his book while his team waited to be called. Sasuke was busy plotting ways to torture his brother for the horrors he did to him. He was already thinking what he wanted his new instructor to teach him. Sakura on the other hand was happily looking at her crush with dreamy eyes. Hoping to have the last Uchiha fall in love with her beauty. She sighed after 2 hours when nothing happened. Doesn't Sasuke love me? Why is he like this? Maybe he doesn't know about the birds and the bees. That's it, it's the only logical reason on why he doesn't react to my natural beauty. There is only one way to test this. Inner Sakura said before her body turned from her beloved Uchiha. What do you want, Sakura-chan? Naruto said with a bored tone, even though he was reading, something told him she was looking at him. He couldn't understand why he was getting the sudden urge to jump up and down. He was a new man after all, the height around his bicep said so. I knew it. There is no way in hell a guy isn't turned on by me. I'm so sexy it's almost a sin. Now then you pale-skinned Adonis, admit to my beauty. Inner Sakura said with a smile before her outer personal went back to trying to seduce Sasuke. Leaving Naruto with a raised eyebrow. What did I see in her? Naruto thought before sighing, going back to his reading. The Hokage was sitting in the room with the council in charge of helping him decide what was best for his home. They were going to go over the teams he had come up with. Why is that monster with Uchiha-sama and my daughter? A pink-haired woman said with rage. It was the only way to balance out the teams. No matter how much we dislike it, Sasuke works best around Naruto. Kaharu said, making the civilians look at her. After going over the school records, we noticed that immediately after the day Naruto beat Sasuke in a subject, it would push our last Uchiha to train harder. The Hokage said, making many in the room shocked. Isn't Uzumaki-san the dead last? Shibi asked, making everyone agree with him. In things involving the academy he is. Danzo said, making the room look at him. We cannot deny the fact that the boy is more advanced in more shinobi required skills. He may not have the proper knowledge of our village's history or the chakra control needed for simple jutsus. However, have you all already forgotten that the boy has accomplished an act that could have brought our village to its knees? Many times we have caught our enemies going after the forbidden scroll. It was the reason we left it with the Hokage, because he was strongest available to protect it. Not only did Naruto slip through high-level traps in shinobi, but somehow our leader wasn't able to find him. Danzo said, making the Hokage sweat. The man had not informed the village that he was knocked out by Naruto, using his perverted nature against him. Stealing the forbidden scroll is an amazing act by itself, a task that no other shinobi could brag about. To make it even more amazing, the boy had even gone and learned one of the kinjutsus in less than a day. The chakra flowing through his body must be monstrous if he was able to learn such a draining technique so fast and still cripple a Chunin. It seems I was right all along. That boy has a great potential and you fools have almost cost us to lose it. Danzo said, making the council upset. How is it our fault? A man with glasses said, making the bandaged war hero to look at him. Out of all here your fault is greater than any other besides the Hokage. Danzo said, making his old friend upset. How dare you try to blame this on me? The man said with rage. You are in charge of the academy, why is it that your instructors never noticed Naruto's chakra capacity? During his stay in the hospital I had a nurse check his reserves. Do you want to know what I found? Danzo said with a mocking tone. Stop being so troublesome and just say it. Shikaku said with a bored tone. Naruto's chakra is at a level she had never seen before. The only person that comes close to Naruto's chakra is Jiraiya. The man said, making the room shocked. The pathetic chakra control and jutsus available in the academy are useless to someone with so much chakra. Especially when they have never had proper training. Naruto's chakra is so large that more than likely he overpowered his jutsus, and I can assume that the instructors told him that he wasn't trying hard enough. A boy with no guidance will assume that meant he needed to pump more chakra into his technique, which resulted in his poor results. The academy had him doing something that was physically impossible for him. They wanted him to pass Chao's size chakra through a straw. Danzo said, making the Akamichi head upset. You're right that the academy should have corrected this mistake, but isn't some of the blame on Naruto? Tsume asked. How can it? The boy never received proper training. Compared to the other children's chakra, what he releases is nothing to him. Danzo said with a bored tone. Explain. A civilian asked. A shinobi has more strength, defense and stamina depending on his chakra. As we train, our physical energy improves our bodies. Other than Naruto, a young child with no real training, can you think of another person that can outrun shinobi for so long? Danzo asked, making the council think. I more than likely. Inoichi said, making a few shiver in disgust. My point exactly, Mido Guy is the only shinobi in the village with a ridiculous amount of stamina, but that is only because of all the inhuman training he practices. How is it that Naruto, a boy not even half his age, can compete with him? How can a dead last outrun and outlast shinobi that have killed before? How can a boy contain so much energy that he can create hundreds of physical clones without dying? Danzo said, making the council quiet. It's because of Kyuubi. A civilian councilman said with rage. Yes, it is Kyuubi that has given Naruto chakra, strength and reflexes a shinobi must take years to develop. Have any of you ever wondered why the boy always seems to be one step behind Sasuke in power? Danzo said, making the council confused. I believe that the reason Minato, our greatest Hokage ever, wanted us to see Naruto as a hero was because he wanted Naruto to protect our village. Danzo said, making the council shocked, except the Hokage, since it's what he had been saying for years. Chakra, as we all know, is the life stream for shinobi. Our bodies need chakra, it feeds on it, as long as it flows in our body we can fight. Naruto, because of Kyuubi's seal, has so much chakra in him that he doesn't know what to do with it. Which is why I feel that his large supply of chakra changed him. Danzo said, making the room grow silent. I knew it. He is a demon, we should kill him now that we got the chance. A civilian said before Anbu dragged him away. He is not a demon, his body is just better than ours. His chakra coils is at a level we can only dream of and will only get bigger. His muscles are gaining strength from containing all of his power. With no outlet his body destroys itself. It wouldn't surprise me if he has secretly suffered through a chakra overload and heavily damaged his body. Danzo said, making the room fill with shock. If that is true, then why is it that he doesn't spend every other week in the hospital? The female advisor of the Hokage asked. Because of the nature of medical chakra. Danzo said, making the shinobi pay more attention. They were now extremely intrigued in what the man had to say. When a medic heals with chakra, they are manipulating their patient's chakra into stimulating the body to repair itself. When Naruto is hurt, his body is so full of chakra that it devours it to regenerate the damage it sustained. The boy is walking around while using an advanced, powerful and very efficient medical jutsu without even knowing it. Danzo said, shocking the people in the room. Are you sure about this? I mean, what you're saying almost sounds like Inoichi said, getting a nod from the one-eyed man. Yes, we can characterize and label Naruto and his body as a bloodline to make things simple. It won't surprise me to see his children do the same, since the genes and biological knowledge of a parent will pass to their children. Those born with his blood will have a chakra level higher than normal. Nowhere near his power, but it won't surprise me if they can reach it with ease. All humans heal themselves naturally with chakra, but future members of the Uzumaki clan will more than likely do it at a speed that is clearly inhuman. Danzo said, making those in the room take in his words. The seal placed on Naruto by the Yondaime changed Argent-Shuriki. I believe that it not only contains the demon fox, but it is killing the fox by making Naruto devour it. Danzo said, shocking the room. As Kyuubi gets weaker, Naruto will grow stronger, every day he becomes greater than the day before, not by much, but enough for it to make a difference. The human body is an amazing thing, it's why the things that can't kill us only makes us stronger. We lose one of our main senses, and it strengthens the others to regain what we lost. When we destroy it by training, it not only heals the damage, but makes us better than before. When we drain our chakra, it makes more than what we had, growing our coils in the process. Naruto does all of this, but at a speed we can't compete with. Imagine being stuck during a war, having to fight an opponent, one that every time you hurt he comes back for more. One that not only is becoming used to your attacks, but it's taking more and more every day to drive him away. Not only are they getting stronger before your eyes, but you will get weaker because you won't be able to compete with his body. Whether we like it or not, Naruto was made for war. The longer he draws out a battle, the easier it will be for him to win. Danzo said, shocking the council. None of its members would like to fight somebody that Danzo described. That's impossible, there is no way that thing can do that. A pink-haired woman said, making Danzo look at her. When I visited the boy and ran a few harmless tests, I'll give you the documentation later. Danzo said to the Hokage before the man could get too upset. I had placed a certain seal in the room. The seal that the Shodaime made for when a Jinchuriki was to be treated. It prevents them from tapping into their tenets. I was shocked to find that all of Naruto's chakra, all of the strength he is showing is his alone. The boy has no connection to the seal besides it giving him a bit more chakra every day. Even with the removal of Yakai, his body still worked at a more amazing rate than before. Kyuubi's chakra is actually making things worse for Naruto. Danzo said, shocking the council. How is that possible? Shikaku asked. You have two chakra sources that was never meant to coexist, fighting for supremacy. Naruto's body is so busy driving the Yakai away that his control is almost non-existent. If we add him new filters and stronger chakra storage seals, I feel Naruto's strength will grow at an alarming rate. Danzo said, making the council room fill with silence. I will talk to Naruto and see what he has to say about this. Even though it is to his benefit, I do not plan to do things without his approval. The Hokage said, making the room agree with him. How can we prove that Danzo is right? Chaoza asked. Kakashi's exam. If Naruto does not have the abilities I said, then he won't last long. Agaze into Jounin. His body would be too weak to be of use in battle. If I am right, then let's just say two certain Sharingan users will have quite the surprise. Danzo said with a smile that made the room uncomfortable. Kyuubi's chakra and the Mandarin style, with the proper training, Naruto will be the natural enemy of Dojutsu users. Which is why I need him to serve me. Danzo thought as the council went over the other teams. Naruto closed his book in frustration, he had better things to do than read all day. Though there was a tiny voice in his head trying to get him to stay longer with Sakura. It grew annoying as it screamed nonsense about proving his love to the large four-headed Kanachi. He crushed it with all his mental might and tossed it to wherever Kyuubi was locked up. A grin of satisfaction grew when he heard a vicious creature tear the voice apart. Finally the door opened to reveal a Jounin with gravity-defying hair. The young blonde had an odd feeling that was telling him he knew the man. The only person that fit the description of the one-eyed mask user was a certain Anbu captain that would always arrive a bit late when villagers gave him problems. He put those thoughts to side as the man measured his new charges. Meet me on the roof. The man said before disappearing. That was either Shushin or a Bunshin, it doesn't matter, the council wouldn't use a weak nin to train duck butt. Naruto thought as he quietly left with his team. I'm glad to see you made it on time. The Jounin said as his team sat across him. As Kakashi was putting away his favorite literature, he couldn't help but look over his team, wondering what they were thinking. He could tell they were annoyed, the one thing he was waiting for. Now before we start doing anything as a team, there is a small exercise for us to do. It should be easy for fresh genin like you. I want you to introduce yourselves to the team. The Jounin said with a calm tone. Uzumaki Naruto, any villager should be able to tell you who I am. The golden blonde said before opening a second book to read. Naruto no baka. How dare you cut me off. You can forget about buying me clothes. That should teach you to wait for your goddess to talk. You inconsiderate bastard. Inner Sakura said with a smug face as she was standing in a torture chamber as Naruto hanged from chains. They were cutting into his wrist, showing he had been there for a while. His body was bruised from the punishment his self-labeled master gave him. As Inner Sakura got off on her fantasy, her words finally reached her, making her want to take back her last comment. How could she make Naruto not buy her things? It would make him buy things for Ino, and she didn't want that. Naruto belonged to her, everyone knew, it was his job to do everything for her. You fucking bitch. Bring back my dog. Inner Sakura yelled as Ino appeared in the torture chamber after an explosion. The platinum blonde freed Naruto, and he ran after her while on all fours. Ino laughing at Inner Sakura the whole time as she listed off the things Naruto would buy for her. You don't have to raise your hand for a turn. The one-eyed Jounin said, making Sakura blush. The outer persona had been caught off guard, she had naturally viewed everything her inner self imagined. She wondered what caused her to become so sadistic. Sensei, I wanted to know how you wanted us to introduce ourselves. Sakura said before the silver-haired Jounin closed his eyes to think. The two male students clearly showing no sign of caring about the man's words. One was brooding about his pain and the others was using his sudden obsession for all things Mandarin to cut off the world. I guess your names, likes, dislikes and dreams should be enough for now. The Jounin said, making Sakura nod her head. I believe it's your turn. The man said as he pointed at the pink-haired teen. She took a few minutes screeching about her obsession over Sasuke. I hate Naruto. Sakura said while taking half a second to look at the golden blonde. That's good to know. Naruto said with an indifferent tone. What? You're not supposed to say that. You're supposed to cry your heart out and beg me to love you. What kind of fanboy are you? Love me, you stupid idiot. Inner Sakura yelled as she dragged Naruto from a smiling Ino. Kakashi wasn't liking what he was seeing with his teen. He expected much from them, mainly because of the titles the academy gave them. Though he had another reason to expect great things from Naruto. He just hoped the academy made a mistake and Naruto wasn't the dead last they had labeled him. Depending on Naruto's dedication, Kakashi would determine how much training he deserved. You're the last one. Kakashi said while looking at the Rookie of the Year. My name is Uchiha Sasuke. There's hardly anything I like. I hate almost everything, especially fangirls. Sasuke said before glaring at Sakura. My ambition is to kill a certain man and revive my clan. Sasuke said, making a dark chuckle flow out of Naruto. There's a flaw with your ambition. Naruto said, making Sasuke glare at him. To revive a clan you need offsprings. I'm sure there is a lot willing girls to give you heirs. Naruto said as Sasuke saw Sakura nod her head too fast for him. See. Kakashi feared her neck would snap, making her head fly off. You tell him, Naruto. He needs me to give him babies. Inner Sakura said as she drooled and moved her hands in a grabby grab way. Already imagining how she was going to ravish Sasuke's perfect body. Though lately there was something making it seem less and less perfect. Sakura did a mental shake before returning to her fantasy of raping the last Uchiha. In her mind that would be the ultimate way to prove her love, after all it was how Sasuke wanted it. Why else would he continue to ignore his fangirls, except to see who was truly dedicated to him? He wanted to know who was willing to do anything to reach his heart. However, they will be fangirls, there is no way you can escape that fate. Naruto said, making Sasuke's eyes to grow in disbelief as Kakashi chuckled. Look at the bright side, when you bed them there's a high chance they will be screamers. Naruto said, making Sasuke pale. The thought of his future wife screeching his name during intercourse scared him. He felt a shiver run up his spine as Sakura placed a hand on his lap. Too close to his growing manhood. Do you want babies now or later? Sasuke-kun. Sakura said with a seductive tone, making the clan prodigy scurry back with fear. All of his shinobi skills instantly left his head as the pink-haired Kanachi looked ready to pounce him. There's no escape, I'm going to make you into a man, Sasuke-kun. Inner Sakura yelled as her body was crawling on top of Sasuke. You won't be able to have his kid, Sakura-chan. Naruto said, making Sakura glare at him. Why not? Inner Sakura said through Sakura, making Naruto smile. Her eyes filled with a murderous glare for the one that interrupted her fun. The longest tradition in the Uchiha clan is that their mate must be able to make them bleed. That means you have to impress Sasuke during a spar. The only one in the academy able to hit him was me. And I don't plan to defy the laws of nature to help him with his ambitions. Naruto said, making Sasuke smirk, though he hated Naruto for hinting at him liking men. The lone Uchiha had completely forgotten about that special requirement of his people. That was why his older brother never dated, no one had been able to touch him. He's right, my mom was the strongest Kanachi in the clan before she married my dad. No fangirl will ever be able to reach her level of power. Sasuke said with excitement, clearly ignoring the pain that ran through Sakura. Both emotional and physical. Emotional from being rejected and insulted by Sasuke, physical since he literally threw her off him. Kakashi on the other hand couldn't believe how things had suddenly changed with his team. The golden blonde made the brooding prodigy look more human and the pink-haired harpy looked to take being a Kanachi more seriously, of course she was doing it for the wrong reasons. Before we leave, here are a few things I want you to go over for tomorrow. Kakashi said as he handed the genin slips of paper. I advise you to not eat breakfast unless you like throwing up. Kakashi said with his eye smile before leaving with a swirl of leaves. Boy team, what does it say? Naruto said, making Sakura screech about what he called her precious Sasuke-kun. Her teammates easily ignored her, their ears had adjusted long ago to the high level of pain her voice could cause. We have to meet at training ground 7 near the memorial stone. Pack the necessary gear for a rogue hunt. Can't you read, dope? Sasuke said, making Sakura smirk. I never had anyone willing to teach me kanji, thanks for the info. Naruto said before leaping off the roof, making his teammates fill with shock. He landed with a squat, a light tingling feeling shooting through his body. I can't gather the chakra to my feet fast enough. I still have much to learn. Naruto said before going to find an apartment. Holy shit, I'd like totally survived that. Inner Sakura said, making Sasuke agree with her. Outer Sakura had temporarily fainted when she heard Naruto land. Thinking the golden blonde had finally killed himself for her ignoring him. Sasuke quickly left his most obsessive fangirl behind before she remembered they were all alone. He cursed himself when he heard her calling for him once he reached the stairs. He ran as fast as he could, but with the fear in his heart and soul made him no better than a civilian. He had to remind himself not to fall down. Last time it happened he shuddered from the memory of the incident. He remembered to thank the Anbu once more for saving him and his chastity. Why can't she have awesome ninja skill when she isn't trying to rape me? Sasuke thought as he worked his hardest to escape from the pink-haired Kanachi. Unknown to the world, it wasn't secret jutsus and special training that made him better. It was fighting off his legion of fangirls. Every other week a few would lose control and hunt him down to rape him. He couldn't figure out another reason on why they would throw themselves at him while ripping off his clothes. His brother's torture was nothing compared to a horde of screaming and horny fangirls. Naruto had found an apartment to his like a few hours later. To make things even better, it was a complex made for shinobi and run by shinobi. They couldn't legally reject him renting a room. He also liked it because now those ignorant civilians wouldn't try to trash his place. Though he wasn't going to spend all of his money with blind hope. He promised himself to buy his own home long ago. Rather than spoiling himself, he would only buy the basic necessities. The rest of his money was needed for the future. After a bit of shopping and a quick exchange of bills, he was filling his new apartment with furniture. Now all that was left was getting the things he needed for the next day. The golden blonde ignored the genin team in the shinobi store he entered, however he was paying attention to the quick lesson the jounin was giving. Yosh. Guy-sensei, I will purchase some weights so that my flames of youth will grow with the power of youth. A clone of the jounin said before Naruto saw the most horrible genjutsu his mind could ever come up with. He felt like clawing his eyes out with his new right arm. He couldn't imagine the madness in a person's mind to create such a monstrosity, much less actually use it. The urge to kill those two freaks continued to grow as they chanted away. He would have attacked if he hadn't sensed the store owner behind him. So what are you here for, kid? The shop owner said, hoping to rid himself of the sight of the eye-burning pair. In his mind, dealing with a demon was 1,000 times better than those freaks. I just graduated. Give me all the standard jutsus a genin should know by the time they reach Shunin. Naruto said, making the man look at him with disbelief, along with Team Guy. Whatever you say, kid, but wouldn't your sensei disapprove? The man said, not knowing that Naruto reaching chakra exhaustion with low-level jutsus was the same chance of a sudden solar eclipse. My sensei has 2 more students to worry about. I never had anyone willing to teach me, nor do I need one. Naruto said, making the man feel bad for him. He didn't have a real grudge with the blonde in front of him. He just saw people were nicer if he would badmouth the blonde. Naruto saw the conflicting emotions on the man's face. It just made him hate the store owner for thinking he needed pity. The golden blonde prepared to put the man in his place. Having a sensei is a wonderful thing. You obtain a mentor to help you in the path of life. Perhaps your sensei will be as wonderful as my own. Rock Lee said while in his nice guy pose. Naruto was shocked to see a sudden flash of light come from behind him. From his calculations, it came from the clone of the green beast. The store owner was temporarily blinded, frustrating Naruto. Perhaps you are right, but the power that rests within me demands that I walk alone. Naruto said, making Guy and the store owner feel bad for the blonde. Do you have what I need? Otherwise you're worthless to me. Naruto said while glaring at the shop owner. He would have lifted the civilian by his scrawny neck if it wasn't for the jounin behind him. The man took a step back in fear. He had never seen such cold and threatening eyes in someone so young. Not even the Uchiha prodigy was able to play so much fear into him. There was just something about Naruto that made him fear him. As if some kind of primal nature told him he had to do what he said or there was going to be consequences and no one was going to stop it. What have we done? The shop owner said in fear. His mind racing with the images of mobs chasing Naruto, the voices of his fellow villagers bragging about the harm they did to him. Whether physical, mental, emotional or economical. He now saw the fruit his home has grown. He could feel the darkness begin to sprout in Naruto, ready to consume the blonde and any around him. You created a demon from a jailer. Naruto said with a dark smirk, making the eyes of the adults to grow. Now get me what I seek. Naruto said, making the man rush to get the scrolls. The Mandarin was right, come push and shove, civilians will break down if you start giving them killing intent at the right moments. I can't wait till I start going even deeper into that scroll than I have before. The only problem I have is those fools behind me. It matters not what they do or say, it won't be long before I master the power of the Mandarin. Naruto thought as he heard the man rushing around to complete his order. Halfway through the order he stopped. What's your affinity? The man said, making Naruto look at him with confusion. Affinity? What's that? Naruto asked, making the store fill with shock. You graduated the academy without knowing about elemental affinities. You're probably as useless as Lee. Niji said with arrogance. All it did was bring a smirk to Naruto's face. Naruto easily recognized the Hyuga teen for what he was, a weird-eyed Sasuke. And if there was one thing Naruto was put in this world for, other than eating ramen, it was busting Sasuke's balls. So busting the balls of a blind-looking teen with a Sasuke brain transplant would be just as fun and rewarding. Tell me, have you ever bested a Chunin with a single jutsu? Naruto said, making the genin look at him with disbelief. A dark smile on his face as he could feel their emotions in the air. He was glad he could see their faces off the reflection on a large blade. The new Mandarin had his back to Team 9. I thought so. When you reach that level of power, come find me for a spar. Then you can see how useless I am. Naruto said with a dark tone that made the proud Hyuga uncomfortable. He can't be serious, right Guy-sensei? Tenten said as Guy studied the blonde. I'm afraid he is. Naruto defeated a traitor on his own before graduating the academy. Guy said, making his team look at him with disbelief and then at the golden blonde. As impressive as your flames of youth are, I can feel you wish to grow stronger to protect Konoha. Guy said with a smile. Hoping that the boy could be saved from the evil that wanted to claim him. Of course I will protect Konoha. What kind of cage will I be if my power doesn't surpass that of any other ninja in this village? Naruto said with a smirk. Do you mind channeling chakra into this paper? The store owner said with a smile. His instincts told him to get on the blonde's good side. Naruto took the paper and flared his chakra, making the room fill with his power. His chakra shouldn't be visible, and why is it black? Guy though, as he saw Naruto coat his body with his chakra. It would suddenly flare as if on fire. Well, some of his chakra circled around him like a mini cyclone. The mouths of those in the room dropped as they saw the paper split in half before bursting into vicious flames. Something wrong? Naruto said, making the man shake his head. No, but what you just did was incredible. Most shinobi don't develop their second affinity until they start training to reach the rank of Jounin. Hell, that chakra you flared is already more than any Chunin could match. The store owner said before a thought filled his head. No one has ever helped him, so why is his chakra so big? Guy and the store owner thought as they looked at the dark chakra owning blonde. I don't care about how amazing it was, I want to know what does it mean. Naruto said, making the room look at him with disbelief. It means that using fire and wind jutsus will be easy for you. Wind is your main affinity, though I don't know that many wind users in this village. Guy said with a smile. I have some genin level jutsus, with you being a wind user, I'll order some stronger ones. The store owner said as he started to grab a few more scrolls. These are chakra control exercises that will help you tame your elements. The man said as he placed 8 scrolls near 2 more. This is more than enough firepower for a new genin. Come back in 3 months and I'll have stronger jutsus for you then. The store owner said as Naruto paid the normal amount for his new jutsus. Would you really be able to learn all that within 3 months? Tenten asked as she saw Naruto carry a bag with 10 scrolls. Challenge me with a spar by then, I'll more than willing to show you how much I've learned. I also expect to learn from such a well-developed Kanachi. Naruto said with a smirk, making Tenten blush. Naruto took his 2 bags of scrolls and left. That kid might really live up to the name this village gave him. The store owner said while shuddering. That's what I'm afraid of. Guy said, making his team look at him with confusion. I don't have much time to learn all of these, lucky for me 2 should be enough. Naruto thought as he looked through his scrolls. He was in the same location where Mizuki had started the start of Naruto's new life. Seeing the cabin behind him was abandoned, he planned to fix it to use this area as much as possible. The golden blonde sat in a lotus position as he read through the scrolls, placing them in how they would benefit him in battle and outside of it. I doubt any of these will catch the Jounin off guard. If I can't hurt him then perhaps I could, Naruto said as a dark smile began to grow on his face. He picked up his scrolls and ran to his favorite ramen bar. The 2 friendly cooks were shocked to see him eat at his usual speed with his bandaged limb. They were left speechless when he admitted that nothing was wrong. They agreed to keep quiet about his sneaky trick. Gucci was proud of Naruto's changes, to him the blonde was becoming who he always knew he could become. AM felt that something in Naruto was starting to die, but she figured everyone had to grow up sooner or later. Naruto trained until near chakra exhaustion, though this night and the night his world changed there was a huge difference. Chapter 8, The Bell Test. Talking. Thinking. Demon or summon talking. Demon or summon thinking. Jutsu. 2 members of Team 7 were shocked to see Naruto sleeping in the training ground they were supposed to meet. Sasuke quickly noticed that the landscape showed signs of jutsus being used. The 2 awake members were furious when Kakashi showed up 3 hours later and Naruto then decided to get up. But he spent all of last night training. Kakashi thought with confusion since Naruto looked completely refreshed as if the destruction around him wasn't caused by him. Wanting to see how his could-be students would prepare for a battle, Kakashi sent shadow clones to spy on them around the bedtime of children their age. Sakura was already asleep with her shinobi attire and gear ready for the morning. It gained her points since she didn't wait till the last minute to prepare. Sasuke on the other hand did some last-minute training before going to sleep and let out a few silent tears. When his clone found Naruto, the golden blonde was practicing his taijutsu and his weapon accuracy. The whole time showing his right arm wasn't a liability or slowing him down. Running low on power, Kakashi's clone dispelled itself to send back the information he gathered. Kakashi decided to shrug off the condition his students were in. Naruto was relaxed and ready for battle, while his teammates didn't look like him. In the end, 2 out of 3 wasn't a bad score, considering how he wanted to test them. This test is fairly simple. Take a bell from me and get a free lunch. Those that get a bell won't get the honor of being sent back to the academy as failures. Kakashi said as he dangled 2 musical devices in front of the would-be genin. He was mentally smiling while seeing Sakura worry. Sasuke got pissed and Naruto was trying to come up with a way to beat the jounin. "Aren't you missing a bell, sensei?" Sakura asked, making Naruto sigh. "It means one of you two is going home," Naruto said, making Sakura shocked and Sasuke glare at him. "Looks like they are not willing to work together," Kakashi thought with a disappointed voice. "How dare you? I'm going to I'm so mad I can't even think of a proper punishment for you. Just you wait, Naruto, I'll figure something out for hinting Sasuke-kun is going to be sent back to the academy," Inner Sakura said with rage as she held a whip before whimpering and begging Naruto. What if he didn't mean Sasuke was going to fail? Sakura thought, making her inner persona freeze. "Wait, you don't mean Naruto, how could you? I thought you cared about me," Inner Sakura said with great pain. She felt betrayed due to the lone fact Naruto wasn't supporting her. He was always the only person to ever have faith in her ninja skills. Not even her parents, her friends, or even herself felt she would one day be a ninja. The only one that believed in her and gave her his total support had always been Naruto. After all, he was the president and sole member of the Haruno Sakura Association of Appreciation. It was his greatest joy to support her and all of her selfish wishes. "I'm going to defeat him no matter what," Sasuke thought as his mind filled with him learning an instant kill jutsu from Kakashi and using it to defeat his brother. "I know that traitorous Chunin can't compare to the real power this village has to offer. Show me what you got, Jounin," Naruto thought before Kakashi signaled for them to start. With nothing more than 3 blurs, Kakashi was left standing in front of the bentos he had bought. "At least their power is above the genin I had seen, but how good are they at using their skills?" Kakashi thought as he walked towards the place where he sensed to be center of his 3 students. The man carefully walked as he took in how good his students were in hiding. He was pleasantly surprised that all 3 had near-perfect hiding skills. He wouldn't, Kakashi thought as he saw 6 kunai land around him. His eye grew with disbelief as he saw the tags attached to them ready to detonate. "I told them to come with the intent to kill, but I didn't think they were actually going to do it," Kakashi thought as crossed his arms over his body and braced himself. He gathered his chakra and made a coat around his body. His skin instantly hardened as small amounts of earth chakra protected him from the blast. Those tags had more than enough power for a spar. They were also lit halfway by the time they hit the ground. "If it wasn't for that jutsu I could have died," Kakashi thought as he was covered in smoke. Naruto smirked before he ran towards the place his sensei was at. His teammates couldn't believe the amount of force the golden blonde used. "Age Bunshin no jutsu," Naruto thought as he closed his eyes and focused on his chakra. After learning the benefit of faking a lost arm, the teen worked on using his jutsus with no seals. He was only able to do 3, and they were the basic ones of the academy. The jaw of Sakura dropped as she saw 8 Naruto appear behind the blonde. They quickly rushed ahead and dove into the smoke to fight. Naruto skid to a stop and waited as the sound of battle came to an end. The smoke cleared and revealed his clones piled on top of Kakashi. "TCH," Naruto said as he saw Kakashi turn into one of his clones. It whined in the way that Naruto used to be. It frustrated the golden blonde and he threw a kunai through its head to dispel it. The eyes of his team grew in disbelief at the way Naruto got rid of the image of his old self. Naruto's eyes grew as his mind filled with the knowledge his clone had gained. Naruto waved his left arm in front of his clones and they instantly knew what he wanted to do. They turned into kunai and shuriken before flying towards Naruto's hand. The golden blonde quickly turned and aimed the weapons towards something his clone saw. Looks like he saw underneath Kakashi thought as the shuriken sliced into the traps he had made. As 2 branches swung into the air with nothing, the projectiles soon returned to their original form. "Those are solid clones that can use jutsus. Where did he get such power?" Sasuke thought with jealousy as the clones made a perimeter around the bell to allow Naruto to get it. The main body walked with a careful pace. He had his goal in his reach and refused to lose it by acting a fool. "No way Naruto got a bell before Sasuke-kun. How is that possible?" Sakura thought as she saw the real Naruto pick the bell up and pocket it. He looked badass while doing it. "I can't wait till Sasuke-kun does it, that way it will be 1,000 times better." Inner Sakura yelled with excitement before she paled. "If Sasuke-kun gets the second bell I'll be sent back to the academy. I would fail, I've never failed before." Sakura thought as she saw Naruto continue to look around. Then to her shock he did something that she and more than likely her team never thought possible. How can he do that? Sasuke thought as he looked where the golden blonde used to be. I don't think his henge is the same one I'm using, Kakashi thought after the real Naruto transformed into a falcon before taking flight. Kakashi's eyes grew when he saw something familiar, something he had noticed when he would attempt to save the golden blonde as a child. Those feathers, whenever he would suddenly vanish in a dead end there was always those feathers. So that's how he did it. How long did it take him to learn to do this, Kakashi thought as his eyesight followed the flying golden blonde. He saw it land at the spot they had left the lunches. No doubt he has genin skills, sensei, you must be proud. Kakashi thought as he hurried to test his other students. Sakura behind you. A voice said, making the pink cat turn with disbelief. Her eyes grew as she saw her would-be instructor standing in front of her with a ram seal. Leaves began to spin and Sakura began to feel the need to sleep. Her eyes flew open as she saw the blurry image of Kakashi take a hit. That was a Jinjutsu, Sakura. You're better than this. Naruto said as he stood in front of his crush. Sakura looked with shock just like Kakashi as they saw the golden blonde had become a mixture of who he used to be and who he was becoming. I wasn't able to dispel the technique with a simple kai. How powerful was the illusion Kakashi planned to use? Naruto thought as he made 4 copies appear. You already passed, Naruto, so why are you here? In a one-on-one battle I will beat you hands down. Why risk losing your chance to succeed by helping her? Kakashi said, making Sakura look at the blonde and then at the silver-haired man. Because she needs me, no matter how much I hate to admit it, I need to help her, otherwise I'm stuck with the emo king. Naruto said, making Sakura glare at him. Doesn't look like she appreciates your help. Kakashi said with a smirking tone that made Sakura flinch. Doesn't matter, because I know that when it really matters she will be there. Like I will be there for her. Naruto said, making Sakura blush. What the hell am I doing? He's right, there's no reason for me to help her. The plan was to see how badly the others did, Naruto thought as he looked at the jounin before him. Protect her, love her, a voice whispered in Naruto's head, making him frown. His resolve is waving, looks like he's doubting what he did. I bet if sensei was here, he wouldn't have such doubts, Kakashi thought as he saw Naruto lower the kunai he had and turned to look at Sakura. What is he doing? Sakura thought as the cerulean eyes of Naruto locked with her emerald orbs. I'm sorry. Naruto said, making Sakura look at him with disbelief. The golden walked past the pink cat as she stood frozen with disbelief. Kakashi wanted to sigh at the choice the blonde made, only to have his eyes grow as Sakura suddenly ducked and Naruto turned with his top speed and flung the kunai. The man jumped back and crossed his arms once more as the kunai exploded. The 2 genin jumped back and ran the same direction to get away as Kakashi went flying into a tree. He tricked me, looks like his heart understands the true meaning of this test. Kakashi thought with a light smirk that became a groan as he felt the pain his back gained when he slammed into the tree behind him. He saved me, I can't believe he saved me. Sakura thought as she looked at the golden blonde that was running at her side. Her words had cut into him before she noticed his hand opened and revealed the exploding tag wrapped around the handle of the kunai he had. She couldn't believe how easy she understood what he had planned. I'll give him a treat later, inner Sakura said with a smile before they saw Naruto suddenly stop. The hidden personality was smiling while petting Naruto's head as he sat at her side. I won't help you again. That jounin is still underestimating us, but he won't the moment he sees me helping you. Naruto said as he turned to head to a different direction. Sakura felt bad as she lost the feeling of confidence she was gaining from having her follower at her side. She didn't know how she was going to pass this exam. The longer it lasted the harder she felt it was becoming. You're better than the Sakura, don't let his tittle scare you, you're the best Kanachi in the academy. That was something you gained on your own. Are you going to let all those years of blood, sweat and tears go to waste? Naruto said, making Sakura eyes to grow. Sasuke can only see power and those that have it. I doubt there will be anything that catches his attention more than seeing you take the last bell. Naruto said before rushing off. Can I do it? Can I really send Sasuke-kun back to the academy so that he can love me? Sakura thought as she saw Naruto's back. Of course, it's why Sasuke-kun hasn't taken the bell yet. He wants to see how powerful we are. Remember what Naruto said yesterday, we need to impress him with our skills as a Kanachi. This is only the first test of many to prove we are worthy of his love. Inner Sakura said while cracking her knuckles. I'll pass this test with the power of my love. Sakura said before rushing to find the jounin. The Kakyu no Jutsu. Sakura heard Sasuke yell as she finished working on something. She quickly rushed to the explosion and saw Kakashi dig Sasuke underground. A frown grew on her face before she sent a barrage of projectiles at the mocking jounin. She got me a few times, that girl is good at predicting my landing points. Kakashi thought as he jumped from Sakura's attack. A smile grew on his face as he saw Sakura pale before looking at her kunai holders, only to see them empty. The man chuckled lightly as he saw her take a few steps back in fear. He closed his eye and smiled as he sensed if Naruto was around. The man rushed towards the frightened Sakura, making her turn and run. Looks like whatever pep talk Naruto gave her wore off. Kakashi thought before seeing Sakura go through a bush. He jumped over it before chasing the red-dressed Kanachi. His eyes grew when he grabbed her shoulder only for her to dispel into a cloud of smoke at the moment of contact. Bunshin, Kakashi thought before hearing the sound of a rope snap. He turned and saw the real Sakura holding a kunai. He followed a retreating rope and soon saw where it ended. His eyes grew with disbelief at the large tree being swung towards his direction. He would have jumped if he didn't hear a second tree making its way to him. The man ducked and heard both trees smash into each other. If Sakura had more experience, she would have been able to prepare for the two flaws in these kind of traps, Kakashi thought before hearing some hissing noise. He looked at the log in front of him and saw smoke coming from its bark. Shit, the man thought as he crossed his arms to protect himself once more. Sakura smiled and cut a second rope. This can't be good, Kakashi thought as he heard traps be triggered around him. Wave after wave of kunai and shuriken followed him. Memo to self, don't switch with logs that are in the perfect spot to live, Kakashi thought after the third log he used to escape just placed him in another trap. Kakashi's eyes grew as he saw Sakura pull on the edge of the dirt in front of him. When the hell did she have time to dig this, Kakashi thought as he saw a pit with bamboo spikes waiting to impale him. Kakashi pulled some kunai out and stabbed them into the dirt wall to prevent his death. Give me the bell, sensei, and I promise to help you up. Sakura said as she held the same kunai as before. This girl, she has me follow her while faking her fears, then leads me to a trap with a basic clone, and then makes me dance until I fall into her pit of death. I don't got a reason not to pass her. Kakashi thought only to hear the sound of someone cutting the bell off. Sorry sensei, but this is a genjutsu. A second Sakura said before Kakashi saw his environment switch until he found himself in the same clearing he had chased the clone to. The man felt embarrassed as he let go of his death grip on his kunai while lying on the ground. Care to tell us what you saw, sensei? Seeing you jump around like a lemur in heat almost made me break Sakura's illusion by laughing too hard. Naruto said with a smirk, making the man blush, though the genin didn't saw it. No, but congratulations you two for getting a bell. Kakashi said after hearing the alarm go off. I knew you could do it. I can't figure out why you doubted yourself. Naruto said, making Sakura blush once more and look at her feet with a bit of shame. Naruto is right, Sakura, you both showed a great understanding and trap preparation when you came after me. You worked with what you got and did your best. That is all the village ever truly requires from its shinobi. Kakashi said with an eye smile as they walked towards the place that Sasuke was breeding at. Sakura got a bell. Sasuke said with disbelief as he looked at his most loyal fangirl. Don't doubt her, Uchiha, she's stronger than you can imagine. Naruto said, making Sasuke glare at him. Sasuke-kun. Sakura yelled as she saw Kakashi suddenly tie her crush to a post. Why don't you two eat your lunches while I go get a mission from the Hokage? When I get back we can start your real training. Kakashi said before disappearing with one bento. Are you hungry, Sasuke-kun? Sakura said as the Uchiha's stomach betrayed the way he wanted to look. Feed him my vegetables, Sakura, I'm not going to eat them. Naruto said, making Sakura and Sasuke look at him. We're going to do a mission, no matter how much I dislike Sasuke, I can't afford to let the village down just because he's starving. Naruto said, making Sakura give him a light smile. Thank you, Naruto. Sakura said, making Naruto blush as he walked away. He hoped they didn't see it since he had turned the moment she started to smile. Why are you thanking me, Sakura? It should be the team. Naruto said, making Sakura lose her smile. Because he won't be able to thank you of all people. So let me thank you when Sasuke is too stubborn to do it. Sakura said, making Naruto grunt as he continued to walk. Why are you helping me, Sakura? I've never given you a real reason to care for me. Sasuke said as his fangirl feed him. Because I want to help you, you're my teammate, it's the right thing to do, just like I know you will help Naruto and how he would help us when we need it. Sakura said, making Sasuke look at the retreating back of the golden blonde. We're a team, maybe not a good team, but if we work together things can get better, I know it can. Sakura said, making the lone Uchiha look at her. Fine, you win, Sakura, the Uchiha said, making the pin cat look at him. It won't hurt to be a team, and seeing you two with a bell proves you won't hold me back. Sasuke said, making Sakura smile at him. A smile that wasn't faked with the need to win him over. A smile that showed her to be something more than an annoyance. A smile that Sasuke couldn't help but find cute and blush at his thoughts. I'm glad to hear that. Kakashi said as he cut the rope, making Sasuke fall on top of Sakura. Their eyes grew as Kakashi started giving out a perverted giggle. Why does it hurt seeing them like that, Naruto thought as he saw Sasuke kissing Sakura. Why am I still weak, Naruto thought before nearly storming off. Kakashi watched his sensei's son looking at his good hand before making a fist and leaving. He wondered if bringing him back to spend time with their new team was actually a good idea. I should have just told him that the team officially passed and let him alone. Seeing his crush kiss his rival can't be good for his need to practice teamwork. Kissing feels good, Sasuke thought as he got off Sakura. Blee, his mouth tasted like one of mom's health drinks. Inner Sakura complained since Sasuke's mouth had been collecting the taste of different vegetables and the anchovies that Naruto didn't like. Sakura could understood why there was anchovies in the bentos, nor how her crush was able to eat them. She wished he didn't since she hated the taste. You two go make out to your heart's content. Our real training starts tomorrow. Kakashi said before vanishing. Sakura about what happened. Sasuke said, making Sakura want to puke. I'm sorry Sasuke, but I got to go. Sakura yelled before rushing off. She hadn't noticed the smell coming from his mouth until after tasting it. Oh god, that smell. Inner Sakura yelled as they rushed off to brush her teeth. Gargle with her mouth and more than likely throw up. While Naruto laid on his bed looking at the ring of the Mandarin while swearing to live up to the legacy of his ancestor. Chapter 9. D-rank missions. Talking. Thinking. Demon or summon talking. Demon or summon thinking. Jutsu. Avenger is in position. The mistress of pink is waiting for your orders, Captain Masturbate. Sakura said with a giggle while Sasuke chuckled. Damn it Sakura, I told you brats not to use that name. Kakashi growled after getting up from doing a face plant. I'm going to kill Naruto for making that nickname up. Kakashi thought as his team did the hardest mission a genin could take. While you idiots were busy goofing around I caught the stupid thing. Naruto's voice was heard with annoyance, they weren't sure if it was for the cat or their team. Damn it, you were supposed to wait for my permission before engaging the target. Next time you jump command I'll have to punish you, Sergeant Sunshine. Kakashi said with a smirk. Sensei. Naruto turned the headset off after telling us about Tora's capture. Sakura said with a sweat drop before her and Sasuke tilted from Kakashi screaming at Naruto's lack of teamwork. The rest of Team 7 turned off their headsets before chazzing after their blonde teammate. It was just another day in the life of Team 7. Team 7 in paper had the makings of an incredible team, unfortunately they had too many problems to work before they can walk that path. Problems that kept piling up since their officially forming that had occurred a month before this mission. Sasuke didn't care about his teammates, Sakura only cared about Sasuke, and Naruto wanted nothing to do with his two teammates and his jounin leader. Kakashi found this the most annoying, since the blonde had never asked for additional training. Even Sakura had asked for extra training since her impressive work during the bell test. Something Kakashi and Sasuke never thought she had in her. Needless to say, Kakashi hated the fact that his team lost the glimpse of teamwork he had been planning to have them develop. It was the foundation of Team 7 and the secret to the power of the former Team 7 members. Kakashi wasn't sure what to do, he was growing tired of Sasuke's demands for power. And Sakura looked a bit more depressed every day and he didn't understand why. While Naruto surprisingly continued to grow in strength, he refused to show when his teammates were around. The man knew how hard the golden blonde trained after the team would break to rest. It made him feel a wave of pride, but he wanted a more active role in the boy's life. It was the duty he swore to his former master. If it was up to me cat I would let you free, however this is a mission I must partake of. Naruto said as the cat hanged in his hand while he walked. Meow. Tora said with sadness. Remember my scent beast, next time you escape I promise to let you stay at my place for a week, but only if you promise to always go there when you escape. It isn't much, but it's all I can do for you. Naruto said with some sympathy for the beast. It was their third time hunting the renegade cat, and Naruto has seen it lose more than one of its many lives after being held by its owner. Meow. Tora said with hope. Do we have a deal? The golden blonde said, making Tora rub its body next to Naruto. Naya. Tora said before Naruto went and put Tora on his shoulder. Don't betray my trust beast. Naruto said when he saw Tora look around while debating to escape. The cat decided that a week of freedom was better than having genin trying to kill it like they have done to its many predecessors. It was after all Tora the 45th. After the murders of Tora 1, 2 and 3 the village had breed cats to be identical to the one Naruto carried. It was the only way to keep the wife of the daimyo happy and from learning the truth. The only thing that confused the ninja village was how the new Toras kept learning about their predecessors. Which is why they became more desperate to escape and harder to catch. How are you doing that Naruto? Ino said as Team 10 had seen Naruto while they enjoyed their lunch in a BBQ restaurant. The sight of Tora being a normal cat was shocking not only to them but the rest of the village. The beast was nothing more than a demon spawn. Give me a reason to tell you. Naruto said as he continued walking. The platinum blonde ignored his jerk-like attitude since she figured he had to be tougher to prevent people from taking advantage of his useless right arm. The village had been shocked when Naruto had been informed by the doctors that his right arm had almost no signs of life. They had run a few diagnostics jutsus on him while having his arm and upper body bandaged. The golden blonde had made sure to hide every bit of metal that had suddenly appeared on him. He wasn't going to be the first person to hide scars from high-degree burns. The doctors honored his wishes since they had been reported on the damage and knew that such damage would never heal properly, even for someone like Naruto. Thanks to their medical jutsus, the golden blonde was allowed to keep his privacy. Naruto wasn't sure how it happened, but the metal around his arm had prevented the doctors from sensing that his arm was still working. It was just something the blonde contributed to the Mandarin's ring to let him continue to take advantage of the fools around him. "Because I'm cute," Ino said with a pose to go along with her reason. Naruto turned his head enough to look at her with one eye. Her level of cuteness went up when she suddenly blushed. "I really like this, Naruto," Ino thought as she tried to get the blonde to fall for her beauty to get what she wanted. She cursed her parents once more for giving all the information they had on the Mandarin to Naruto. It was hard for her to get him to submit when she didn't have a trump card. "You don't say," Naruto said after continuing his way to the tower. Ino's mouth hanged in disbelief before turning to the sound of her team chuckling. She turned to put them in their place, only to see an eye-smiling Kakashi, a laughing Sakura and a smirking Sasuke. Sasuke was smirking since he figured she had changed target and was going to leave him alone. "Nice try, Ino, but Naruto's has always had good taste in girls," Sakura said with a smirk. Her mind filling with the many times the golden blonde had tried to win her affection. Not noticing the moment Naruto paused thanks to her words. Ever since the incident after the bell test, Naruto hasn't been the same when involving his team. Which is understandable when you see your love kiss your most hated enemy. "That's right, bitch, Naruto belongs to me. When I'm ready to use him, he will be more than willing to please his mistress, so you can't have him," Inner Sakura said with pride as she was being held bridal style by Naruto, while Ino was begging on her knees to have the golden blonde like her. As Ino cried, she would make noises that would normally come from a real pig. "If you really must know," Naruto said with a husky voice as he whispered in Ino's ear, making her blush. The eyes of the two teams grew in disbelief as the golden blonde had suddenly turned Ino into a blushing mess that couldn't make a real word come out of her mouth. Naruto grew a mental smirk as he looked at the face of Sakura and the others that had plagued him. Mainly Sakura, since she was filled with disbelief and a hint of betrayal. The image he was showing her was something she had never thought possible and was one she would never forget. "I don't need her, I can always find someone else, someone better, someone more deserving of being at my side," Naruto thought as he gently ran the fingers of his left arm on the side of Ino's face. "Hinachi aren't meant to be cute, Ino-chan," Naruto said with a tone that made Ino gulp as she felt a warmth fill her. "The women that live in the shadows and carry the message death, they will always be beautiful and sinfully sexy," Naruto said, making Ino moan lightly at the words the sapphire-eyed teen spoke. "Look before you, Ino," Naruto said as he gently cupped Ino's face and turned it toward Sakura. "Sakura is one of the cutest girls in the village, but that makes her nothing but a child in the eyes of shinobi. I am a shinobi, and as a man of power I want a real Kinachi, not some random snot-nosed brat," Naruto said, making Ino mentally smile as Sakura's face filled with pain. His hateful words doing far more damage than he could imagine. This was even more true since she was not going to get him to help rebuild her confidence. Since the bell test, Haruno Sakura was finding herself more overwhelmed in the world of shadows without her loyal fanboy to ensure her sanity. "Is that true?" Ino said before she felt Naruto's hand travel from her face between her chest without touching it before landing on her stomach. He made a spiral on her stomach with a single finger before pulling her body towards his. She let out a light squeal from the sudden force and from feeling her body hit his hard and developed chest. A physical build she had not thought possible on Naruto until he started using his bandages. "What do you think?" Naruto whispered as her body somehow molded over his. Ino couldn't help but pant at how her body was reacting while she was feeling new sensations from Naruto's body. Her hands laid at her side while his hand made sure to give her no chance of escaping. "Watch you pink-haired bitch and suffer while learning what could have been yours. What I would have done for you," Naruto thought as he saw Sakura look at the two blondes with disbelief and betrayal. He could see how his actions and words were cutting into the one that held his heart. It wouldn't be long until he freed himself from the curse that was Haruno Sakura. He couldn't help but let out a smile of satisfaction at the pain growing in the pinket. "Until I find such a woman I must be patient," Naruto suddenly said before suddenly removing himself from the mesmerized Ino. A smirk on his face as he left the two loudest fangirls on the planet completely speechless. Ino would soon find herself missing his warmth while Sakura would feel more alone thanks to Naruto wanting nothing to do with her existence. "We must hurry, Captain Masturbator, the old man won't give us another mission," Naruto said, making Kakashi snap out of his giggling. Asuma instantly lit a new cigarette to replace the one he dropped while seeing Naruto seduce his student. Choji and Shikamaru had never seen Ino so vulnerable, so hot as when she became pudding in Naruto's hands. Sasuke couldn't believe Naruto actually knew what to do with girls, while Sakura wanted to run off crying like she had just caught her lover with her best friend. Inner Sakura wasn't sure who she wanted to kill more, her former fanboy or her former best friend. Captain Masturbate. Asuma said with a smirk. "He means Sasuke." Kakashi said with a light growl before tucking away his icha. "Right." Asuma said with sarcasm as Sasuke glared at the silver-headed man. "Come on Sakura, you can kick his ass after we turn in that stupid cat." Kakashi said, making his pink-haired Kanachi figure out who she was going to hurt. She would make Naruto feel the same amount of pain that has suddenly started plaguing her life. Something that Kakashi was counting on. "Rest in peace Tora," Naruto said as the cat was being crushed by the larger-than-life wife of the daimyo. Which daimyo he wasn't sure, he just hoped it was the daimyo of his country. "Good work Team 7, now here is a mission you can do with ease, and Naruto here is a mission you might enjoy." The pipe-smoking man said with a smile, while the blonde wondered if the man had strengthened his medication once more. He made a mental note to torch the man's private garden of medical plants if things got annoying. "It's an easy mission Naruto," Iruka said, making the blonde look at him. The man stood from behind the mission tables and walked towards Naruto. "My newest batch of students will be introduced to me today. I need a genin from the previous graduating class to show off some jutsus. Mainly the 3 basics." Iruka said, making the eyes of the golden blonde to grow with disbelief. The same was with his teammates. "No offense Iruka-sensei, but wouldn't Sasuke or I be a better candidate for this mission?" Sakura asked while looking at Naruto's reaction. She flinched at the glare he sent her way, something about him being so hostile was eating away at her soul. She didn't understand it and couldn't find a way to stop such things from happening. "Normally yes, but fresh academy students can be demanding. Tell me Sakura, how many times did you and your classmates demand for your instructors to show off the basic jutsus?" The Hokage said, making Sakura's eyes to grow. "It was a lot. The average per class is usually at least 50 times. It's why 2 Chunin are there to help ease the load. Unfortunately Mizuki is being holed up with something important and won't be able to help me." Iruka said, making everyone but 2 genin understand what he meant. "Recently I had the time to think over Naruto's performance in the academy. And it never occurred to me that Naruto had so much chakra available. This mission would be great for him since he could use the basic jutsus without seals." Iruka said with a smile. "How did you learn that?" Naruto said with a light growl. "I told them Naruto," Kakashi said, making the blonde look at him. "It's only natural for the village to ask how well the new genin are performing after a month of their graduation. All the new teams continue to be evaluated for their first year of service, after that the reports decrease as they rise in rank." Kakashi said, making Naruto accept his answers. "Is Iruka-sensei right?" Sasuke asked, making Kakashi give an eye smile. The Uchiha clearly being jealous of Naruto and his ridiculous chakra reserves. "Oh yes, I would be suffering from chakra exhaustion if I made the same amount of clones Naruto does," Kakashi said, making the genin look at the blonde with disbelief. During their training and mock battle, the blonde would only make 8 clones to keep them guessing at the real limit of his power. "Here you go Kakashi. Team 7 will be helping set up decorations in the market center to promote the Day of Fire. While Naruto helps in the academy." The Hokage said as he handed a scroll to the Chunin Iruka and another to Kakashi. "Do your best Naruto," Kakashi said with his eye smile as he saw Iruka prepare to take Naruto away. Team 7 still had to report on their last mission, not to mention Kakashi had to tell his leader about Naruto's unwillingness to spend more time with his team than what is required. He hoped it wouldn't cause any problems to his golden-haired student. "Let's go Naruto, if we hurry we can stop for a bowl of ramen before going to the academy," Iruka said with a smile, making Naruto shrug his shoulders before heading out of the room. "Nah Naruto KK-kun," Hinata said when she bumped into the blonde when he stepped out of the mission room. She blushed as the golden blonde stared at her. It grew as Naruto offered his hand to help her up. "Watch where you're going dope," Kiba said without a tone of anger. He might be hot-headed, but he knew Naruto wasn't the type to knock girls down without a justifiable purpose. "Akamaru, Shino," Naruto said, making Kiba growl before Naruto gave him a smirk that found its way to Kiba. "Have you been well Uzumaki?" Shino asked. "Could always be better," Naruto said, making Shino nod his head as the rest of Team 8 looked at Naruto's right arm. Hinata wanted to cry, Akamaru and Kiba wanted to hurt the bitch that did that to his friend, and Kurenai pitied the golden blonde. "It's time to go Naruto, it's good to see you 3 again," Iruka said with a smile as he placed a hand on Naruto's shoulder. "Ladders Iruka-sensei," Kiba said with a grin while Hinata and Shino nodded to their former instructor. Teammates soon walked in and saw a smiling Hokage. "Did Naruto do something wrong once again?" Kurenai said, making the Hokage look at her with confusion before he started to laugh. It hadn't been the first time she saw that pair leave the office together. "What?" No, I just split his team up so that Naruto could help at the academy. Team 7 is going to be helping you fix up the market. They will be in charge of decoration while your team handles the cleaning and disposing of trash. The Hokage said as he handed a mission to Kurenai. Great, we're going to be stuck with the emo king and the pink-haired banshee. Kiba said with annoyance, while Akamaru gave a light bark. Kurenai frowned at what the young Inuzuka had said. She didn't see the two members of Kakashi's team in any negative light thanks to the reports. She had no idea the lesson she would learn about painting an image of a person only by the reports and gossip you hear from the villagers. If we step lightly we won't be disturbed by them. Shino said as he adjusted his glasses. He might be silent and mysterious, but he knew how to interact with people. It was people that didn't know how to interact with him. It's why he valued his friend so much. Naruto looked upon the doors of the academy as Iruka walked with him while carrying a smile. I bet you didn't think you would be coming back here to do a mission. Iruka said, making Naruto nod his head. We need to hurry. I was only able to go pick you up during my lunch break. Iruka said before the two went to the classroom Naruto had learned to hate. Boss. Konoha yelled as he saw the golden blonde walk in with his powerful look. His words instantly making the academy students to look at the genin with their instructor. He's really hot for a commoner. Hyuga Hanabi thought as Naruto awoke something within her she didn't know she had. Bet your butts in your seats. Iruka said with a growl making the students instantly do as he said. What? No demon head jutsu? Naruto asked making Iruka chuckle. What's that? Mogi asked. It's jutsus I use to put brats in their places. Iruka said with a smirk while Naruto nodded his head. Since the beginning of your classes all I've heard is sensei show us a jutsu. When are we going to learn a jutsus? I want a jutsu to beat the old man. Iruka said making Konohamaru blush since the examples Iruka gave was mostly him. His classmates laughing over the fact that Iruka had mocked his tone perfectly. You may not know him personally, but Naruto was one of my students before recently graduating. Iruka said as he looked at Naruto with pride. You won't find a harder working shinobi nor someone with a dream as wonderful as his. One I hope he is able to accomplish. Iruka said making Naruto's eyes to grow. He was also one of my more troublesome students. Iruka said making Naruto smirk. How so? Hanabi asked. Naruto was the one that painted the Hokage monument in broad daylight. Iruka said making Naruto fill with pride. I was hoping he would take that as an insult. I would have gotten away with it if Iruka-sensei hadn't butted in. Naruto said making the Chunin to chuckle. Didn't anyone do anything? I know my parents were really mad when you did that. Yuden said making Naruto smirk. They couldn't touch me. Naruto said making the academy students look at him with awe. It's true, Naruto has always laid down complicated pranks to help him escape from Anbu, Jounin and Chunin. Genin gave up trying to catch him a long time ago. Iruka said making the academy students talk with excitement. And because of these reasons I have decided to bring Naruto to give you a little demonstration of shinobi and their jutsus. Iruka said before giving the floor to Naruto. What are the basics jutsus for a ninja? Naruto asked before looking at Mogi and her raised hand. Henge. The orange-haired girl answered. Hawarimi. Hanabi said after getting a nod from Naruto making her blush when she got another for answering correctly. And Bunshin. Konohamaru said making Naruto smirk. The first I will show you is the Henge no Jutsu. Naruto said being covered in a cloud of smoke. To the shock of everybody he came out looking like the yellow flash. Henge is the basic of all jutsus that all shinobi will use. It has endless uses and becomes one of your main weapons if you learn how to do it properly. The Yondaime said making Iruka's mouth to drop. He has Yondaime Sama's voice down perfectly, hell he even moves like him. Iruka thought with disbelief. Another things that makes the Henge a great tool is that not only can you change who you are, but what you are. A woman with long red hair said after a cloud of smoke had engulfed Naruto. She wore the clothes that would fit perfectly on a mother. That's Uzumaki Kushina. Iruka thought with disbelief while remembering how much he feared the lovely Kanachi. With the right training, one can become just about anything. Naruto said before returning to normal. He smirked before another cloud of smoke engulfed him and reveled Kakashi during his Anbu days. Then Asuma, Ino, Mizuki, Tora, and a vending machine which oddly enough had popped out a can of tea. As you train you will learn your limitations, but those limitations are meant to be broken. This jutsus can only be restricted by your imagination. Naruto said as he saw the academy students follow his every word. The next jutsu is Naruto said only to have a barrage of kunai and shuriken to hit him. The students yelled in fright as they saw a smirking Iruka after killing his former student. Only to see Naruto's bloody image turn into a log and Naruto to lock kunai with the Chunin that had attacked him. Their small battle was very dramatic and left the children looking at them with awe. Hawarimi. Naruto said with a calm tone before both put their weapons up. Showing no sign that what just happened was going to cause them problems. Finally you have the Bunshin no Jutsu. Naruto said before closing his eyes. Iruka was filled with shock along with the class, as 4 clones were created alongside of Naruto. This jutsu, Clone 1 said. Is a great distraction, Clone 2 said. Not only can you confuse your opponent, Clone 3 said. But when you learn physical clones it can help you fight more than before. Clone 4 said. But you must master the original clone technique before working on a physical one, right, Iruka-sensei? Naruto asked, making the man nod his head. Any questions? Naruto said before he was bombarded by the excited and clearly mystified students. Don't you think something weird is going on with them? Kiba asked his teammates as they had a break to enjoy a light meal while looking at Team 7. Kakashi, like always, was reading his porn while not caring what was happening around him. A few empty rice bowl wraps and a can of tea in front of him. No one could figure out when he ate his food. Meanwhile, there was an air of unfamiliarity between Sakura and Sasuke. It was something that teammate had figured Sakura would have originally loved. The reason being that Sasuke was trying to get her attention. The only reason Sakura wasn't in a world of bliss was because of the food Sakura had brought. A few tuna sandwiches, some vegetables and cottage cheese to use as dip. Finally, some tomato juice to wash it down. Does he really have to eat so much food that has such a strong smell? Inner Sakura complained as Sasuke munched away without a care in the world while sitting unnaturally close to the pinkette. He keeps staring at me. Sakura thought as she caught Sasuke looking at her from the corner of his eye. He quickly turned his head with a blush and let out a light cough and went back to eating. Sasuke instantly went on to looking like a traditional Uchiha. Is he trying to act like I didn't catch him staring? Sakura asked with disbelief. As Sasuke did try to act like Sakura didn't caught him staring at her. At least Naruto had the balls to smile when he was caught checking us out. Inner Sakura said as memories of such times came to Sakura. It brought a light smile to the pinkette that Sasuke caught, which caused him to blush. More than likely thinking she was smiling because of him. It's because Naruto never cared about who would learn about him liking us. He wasn't ashamed of the feelings he had for me. Sakura thought with a sad tone. She wasn't blind to see how her relationship with the golden blonde was changing. Thanks to all her time alone, she was able to think properly and her mind did not like what it was figuring out. What? Had? No. That's not possible. Inner Sakura yelled with disbelief. Naruto didn't had feelings for us, he still has feelings for us. He won't ever stop loving us. Inner Sakura yelled in hopes of reassuring herself, but only making Sakura look sadly to the ground. I don't think that's true. Sakura sat as the image of Naruto holding Ino came to her mind. Jealousy and pain filling her heart at how Naruto had tried so hard to hurt her. She couldn't understand why he would do something like that. She had thought he cared about her since he saved her from Kakashi. Why would he do that? Sakura asked herself as she tried to shake the images of a smirking Naruto from her head. She had been able to feel the satisfaction radiating of the golden blonde as he took control of Ino. I don't know. Inner Sakura said as she was overwhelmed by the feelings of betrayal thanks to Naruto's actions. I hate to say it, but I really miss that golden-haired knucklehead. Life isn't the same without him. Sakura thought as she looked at her can of tea. An air of depression easily radiating from her for the world to see. Sakura, is something wrong? Sasuke said with worry, making Sakura want to gag. Unfortunately for the Uchiha, he had tried to make a connection a little too fast. On any other occasion Sakura would have loved Sasuke noticing her distressed. However, at the moment Sasuke was almost finished with finishing a bite from of his sandwiches. Meaning there was still a bit in his mouth when he decided to talk. Sakura felt her insides turn as the smell of the fish, vegetables and cottage cheese hit her nose. She instantly tilted her body from Sasuke to try to get away from the smell. Not knowing that her reaction caused a strange spark to ignite in Sasuke. What is this go-go going on with Sakura-san? Hinata asked. Whoa. Kiba said when a wind blew certain smells to his nose, making him react the same way as Sakura. His team instantly looking at Kiba for an explanation. His breath reeks. Kiba said as Akamaru also whimpered from the smell. I haven't smelled something that bad since Choji's last birthday when he had that deluxe Akimichi bento. Kiba said as the memory hit his teammates. They had remembered that day, it was not a pleasant one, especially when Choji's body hadn't reacted properly to different variety of food. It made him extremely gassy, an experience they did not want to live again. If the gas didn't come out from one hole, it came out of another. And Sakura? Shino asked as they looked at the pinkette quickly get up and excuse herself to the bathroom. Sakura has always been one of the more sensitive girls in our school. Her mother is a neat freak and always has scented candles in their house. She wasn't made to deal with such smells. Kiba said, making the eyes of his teammates to grow. I'm sure it isn't that bad. Kurenai said before going to talk to Kakashi about her team helping his to finish since his team was missing a genin. Kakashi, does your team needs help to finish? Kurenai asked. I don't know, do you think your team needs help? Kakashi asked the lone Uchiha. No. Sasuke said with strength and a little too loud to stress his point. Making a strong blast of breath hit Kurenai since he had bothered to look at her. How long has that poor girl been suffering through this? Kurenai thought as Sasuke went back to finishing his cottage cheese. Then don't let me waste any more of your time. Kurenai said before she made a quick retreat. Kakashi only chuckled since he knew what had bothered his fellow jounin. I've smelled worse, Sasuke is going to have to do a lot worse than this to affect me. Kakashi thought as he ignored Sasuke's breath. Looks like you were a hit. Iruka said as the academy students left to their home while Naruto stood at his side. If you say so, all I did was throw some chakra around, nothing really special. Naruto said making Iruka look at him with awe. He spent 4 hours pampering those kids by transforming into anything they asked. Making enough clones to help them one-on-one and having to do constant kawarimi when they would suddenly attack him. It's a good thing Naruto is so good at it, otherwise he would have been hurt. Then again they were only using wooden weapons. Iruka thought as he looked at Naruto with pride, however he couldn't stop the frown from finding its way to his face. But so much chakra he could have graduated long ago if I had cared enough to actually help him. He could have been doing real missions instead of being burned alive only to survive as a cripple. All I keep doing is failing him. Iruka thought with regret. I'm guessing my mission is finished. Naruto asked making Iruka look away from the blonde. Now that there was no one around the man could hear Naruto's need to spend as little time with the Chunin as possible. You're done for the day, I'll turn the mission report to Hokage-sama myself. Why don't you go home and rest, you did use a lot of chakra after all. Iruka said with a smile as Naruto walked towards the exit. I don't need you to pity me Amino. Naruto suddenly said as he stood halfway to the exit. He refused to look at Iruka. I don't blame you, but I can't waste my time doing nothing when I got so much work to do. Naruto said as he looked at his free hand. I need to grow strong, so much stronger, and then the old man will have to move me to a different team. I need to free myself of that curse. I will free myself. The golden blonde thought as he clutched his hand with strength as the smiling face of Sakura filled his mind. He growled before using all of his mental power to destroy the image that was bringing pain to his heart. The reason being is that any time he thought about the pin cat it would lead to her kiss with Sasuke. Each time it appeared Sakura would embrace the lone Uchiha more than what she originally had. I understand and I'm sorry if I upset you. Iruka said and got no response from his former student. All he could do was watch Naruto, while 1,000 what-if questions filled his mind. I failed him again right now he needs guidance not an overprotective failure of a Chunin. I guess he understands the dangers of being a shinobi more than I gave him credit for. It wouldn't surprise me if the hospital had sent some senior shinobi to help Naruto understand the future problems he was going to experience. The man thought before going to work, an endless feeling of regret engulfing his heart. Finished already? Kakashi asked as he noticed Naruto walking through the bazaar while carrying a shopping bag full on instant ramen. Are you here to help us Naruto? Sakura asked with a hint of hope, making her team look at her with confusion. She really need a matter side, since Sasuke was causing her too many problems and Naruto was the only one able to keep him in line. No. Naruto said making Sakura feel some pain at how Naruto completely destroyed her could be salvation. Iruka said I should go home and rest because of my chakra being low. Naruto said making Kakashi want to roll his eyes. Yeah and I have only a handful of jutsus in my arsenal. Kakashi thought as he saw his blonde student clearly planning to ditch his teammates to their private hell. Is it really that hard to get over the fact those two kissed? Kakashi wondered. Out of the three he had the most potential when it came to teamwork and now it's like he's a different person. How can fix this problem Obito, Rin, sensei help me. You should help anyway. Sasuke said making Naruto glare at him. I already did my mission for the day and I don't like the idea of holding your hand to help you finish yours. Naruto said making Sasuke glare at him. Won't you please help us Naruto? Sakura pleaded as Team 7 and 8 looked at her. They had been working for many hours and couldn't deny the fact that the festival preparations was harder than they had first thought. Especially when the wife of the daimyo showed up and recommended some changes. Meaning they had to tear down all the work they did and start anew with the things the round woman had wanted. Initially the assignment of setting up decorations was Team 7's job, but Kurenai volunteered her team after seeing the fat woman's unnecessary recommendations. Both teams at the moment would really appreciate some help, but they could see the golden blonde had no plans of helping. Do it for me. Sakura said with a tone and look that she had never shown before. Naruto's eyes instantly grew, his face blushed, and his heart thumped at a speed it had never experienced before. His hand clutched his bag of ramen with new strength. Who the hell does she think she is? Hinata thought as she looked at the pincat demand something from her crush. Can't she see he isn't supposed to push himself? It's the reason why Hokage-sama gave him an easier mission. Naruto needs our help, we can't stress his body any more than it already is. Hinata thought as she wanted to Jayukin the pink cat to save her Naruto. Naruto's reaction to Sakura was an odd one, his mind wanted to strike the pink-haired girl for asking in such a way. He planned to reject her request, after all Kakashi hadn't placed him back to work. He had no reason to help, he didn't want to help, and the glare he gave his crush showed what was on his mind. Fine. Naruto said after a sigh, making the eyes of everyone to grow. Sakura had won, she was going to get what she wanted, and Naruto knew there was nothing stopping him from giving it to her. His resolve now broken, his need for freedom pushed to the back of his mind as his heart took over once more and led him to taking care of the one it loved. "Thank you, Naruto," Sakura said with a smile, a light blush and a tone of gratitude, making Naruto want to growl at her. Only to give her a light smile since at the moment he was once again caught under her spell. Well, that was interesting. Kakashi thought since he had figured Naruto was going to do anything else but help. In fact, the Jounin had been prepared to prevent the golden blonde from hurting the one that had clearly broken his heart. Isn't that sweet? Kurenai thought as she looked at the blonde and pink cat work together. Naruto had originally planned to work on his own, but Sakura had stuck to him since she knew Sasuke wouldn't come near them thanks to his rivalry with Naruto. Not to mention she was grateful to Naruto for helping her and wanted to make sure that she still had a place in his heart. "I got it," Naruto said after Sakura tried to lift a few trash bags that were overfilled with trash and wasted decorations. The two teams had been forced to change things once more since the daimyo's fat wife decided that the old decorations had been better. Naruto would have killed her if Kakashi hadn't placed a hand on his shoulders. What had shocked Naruto the most was the fact Sakura had gently held his injured arm to give him some kind of comfort and support. The act had left all the genin confused since Haruno Sakura did not do that for Uzumaki Naruto. However, everyone else saw it as a bit romantic with how the two looked. Sakura was too close and used too many hands to make her seem like something greater than a friend. The reason she did it was because she didn't want Naruto getting in a fight with the daimyo's guard after all the work they did that day. The way the two looked had left Kakashi chuckling and Kurenai mouthing her thoughts about how cute the two genin looked when together. Her words making Naruto and Sakura blush while Hinata and Sasuke glared at the one part of the pair of genin they didn't like. Hiba and Shino felt bad for Hinata but understood that Naruto was allowed to follow any path he wanted. They also understood that nothing had officially happened between their classmates, so Hinata still had a chance. "Thanks, Naruto, I'm a little tired," Sakura said with a smile that made Naruto's heart grow in strength. "Don't worry about it," Naruto said as he turned his head to hide his blush. The entire afternoon he couldn't fight the feeling Sakura had triggered once again. He didn't want to admit it, but being with her just felt right, even if he knew he was better off without her. "I'll walk with you," Sakura said as she grabbed his raiment bag since after throwing the trash away the two teams were going to be allowed to go home. "Let's change trash dope," Sasuke said, making Naruto and Sakura to turn to him. "My bags are lighter and you could use all the help you can get," Sasuke said, making Naruto glare at him. Sasuke naturally returned it. The two teams were shocked when 8 clones appeared out of thin air and took all the trash bags at once. "You're right, team, I could use all the help I can get. Lucky for me I now got someone I can trust to do the job right," Naruto said with venom as he took his raiment bag from Sakura since a clone had taken the trash bags he had originally had. The golden blonde and his clones hurried to the local dump to get rid of the remains of their mission. If Naruto could make solid clones, why didn't he do that earlier? Kiba asked with annoyance. "Naruto had a mission earlier to show jutsus off to the academy," Sakura said, making teammate look at her. They knew Naruto was helping at the academy, they just didn't know what he was doing to help. It's a very draining job and Naruto must have just now developed enough chakra to make those clones. It wouldn't surprise me if they disperse at the dump before they sort all the trash," Kakashi said, making Hinata's eyes to fill with worry as her team wanted to help the golden blonde. "He'll be fine, Naruto is a lot stronger than he looks," Kakashi said with a tone showing to leave his student alone. The man knew what Naruto needed from his peers and the way they had been reacting wasn't it? Of course he was oddly proud of how Sakura handled the situation. "You want me to walk you home?" Sasuke said, making everyone look at him with disbelief as he looked at his pink-haired teammate. "No thanks, I'm going to go keep Naruto company," Sakura said, making the eyes of her fellow genin to grow with disbelief. "Sakura, wait." Sasuke as he reached out for the pink cat only to have Kakashi stop his hand. "Let her make her choice, Sasuke, you have no right to take that from her," Kakashi said with a strict tone, making the loyal Uchiha to glare at him. "Whatever." Sasuke grunted after seeing all eyes on him. The genin wondering what Kakashi meant while Kurenai let out a light glare. He soon left home since he didn't have any other reason to bother with her. He wouldn't have done that, would he? I mean, he knows better, right? Kurenai asked the copy ninja after she couldn't send Sasuke. "All I know is that his father was famous for it," Kakashi said, making Kurenai's eyes to grow. Famous for what? Kiba asked but received no answer. Yugaku was famous for being a wife-beater. The two jounin thought as their mind filled with rumors about how the Uchiha clan treated its females that couldn't develop the Sharingan. Kakashi disappeared with a swirl of leaves as Kurenai sent her genin home to rest. "Why are you here?" Naruto asked as he walked towards the dump with Sakura. "I just wanted to spend some time with you," Sakura said, making Naruto look at her with one eye. He didn't want to risk locking both of them with her emerald orbs. "We've been teammates for a month and it feels like I know you less than when we were in the academy," Sakura said, making Naruto frown. "You didn't know me during the academy," Naruto said, making Sakura lightly chuckle. "Probably, but there was a few things I did know," Sakura said with a smile as she stopped walking. "I knew you never gave up and if I had given you the chance you would have made a great friend," Sakura said, making Naruto's eyes to grow. He couldn't help but instantly turn to her to see what she was saying. But more importantly to make sure it was her saying it. "I heard about all the times you took the blame when you and the others messed around. It was something I liked about you, even if you were an orange-loving baka," Sakura said while sticking her tongue out at him, making herself cuter than Naruto could ever remember. "Why are you saying this?" Naruto asked as Sakura walked up to him. "Because I need you at my side," Inner Sakura yelled, making Sakura blush in embarrassment. "I guess what I want to say is that I want to be your friend Uzumaki Naruto. And I'm sorry if I did something that upset you, so please don't be so cold towards me," Sakura said as her face filled with sadness. She instantly clutched the clothes over her heart. "This last month has been the hardest on me, I can't count the times I wanted to quit," Sakura said, making Naruto's eyes to grow with disbelief. "Kakashi-sensei is a lazy jerk, Sasuke-kun only cares about training, and you stop talking to me. My mom doesn't even want me playing ninja anymore. I'm doing the best I can, but it's never enough," Sakura said with a tone Naruto didn't want to hear in her voice. "I don't know what to do," Sakura said as she let out a few tears since her problems were overwhelming her and she had no one to rely on. "Sakura," Naruto said, making the pin cat look at him with disbelief. She had never heard him say her voice in such a way, much less with so much mixed feelings. Naruto said as he looked at her form that needed to gain strength from him. "I'm sorry," Naruto said as he turned and started to walk away from his teammate. Sakura's eyes filled with tears as she saw his retreating back. She couldn't believe Naruto had tossed her to the side just like that. Her inner self filled with silence over the fact that Naruto was no longer responding in the way she needed him to. "Please don't leave me, Naruto, I need you," Sakura thought as her heart felt something she hadn't experienced before. It was familiar feeling, one that she had locked away long ago. An image of a younger and dirtier blonde filled her eyes, his walk nearly identical to that of the one in front of her now. "I'll try to be there for you," Naruto said, making Sakura's eyes to grow. "I'm sorry for being such a bad teammate, things haven't been right since the graduation exams. Give me some time to clear my head. Then we will see what happens," Naruto said, making Sakura fill with hope. "Thank you, Naruto. You don't know how much this means to me," Sakura said while wanting to walk his side only to stop when Naruto raised his hand with his raiment bag. She instantly stopped. "I'll see you tomorrow, Sakura-chan, go home and rest. I know you need it more than me," Naruto said, making the pin cat blush. "But what about our mission?" Sakura asked. "Trust me when I say I got everything under control," Naruto said, making Sakura sigh before turning to leave. "A little rest wouldn't hurt you. Shinobi might be nothing more than a living tool, but it doesn't mean we are indestructible," Sakura said before leaving. She liked the idea of becoming Naruto's friend, but she had expected for things to return to how it used to be. "Trouble in paradise," Danzo said as he came out of store. Showing a face Naruto didn't like. The man clearly had been listening to what was happening to the two genin. "This place is anything but paradise," Naruto said, making Danzo want to glare at him. He didn't like people insulting his village, especially when they weren't supposed to be able to do such things. "I came to see how your training is going. And to congratulate you on passing Kakashi's exam. Your performance was far greater than that of Sasuke," Danzo said, making Naruto turn to him. "The training is going well, and thank you for your support. Is there anything I can do for you?" Naruto said, making Danzo smirk. The golden blonde knew why Danzo was there. It was time to cash in the favor Naruto owed him. "Actually there is," Danzo said while helping Naruto find his way to the path that the bandaged man would one day regret. What if Naruto quits the bell test Sasuke bashing? And thanks for watching my video till the end. If you enjoy this content, then do consider subscribing to my channel and leave a like if you guys need the next part, comment down, and thanks for watching the video and see you guys in the next video.